Hello and welcome to Edge of Empire, a Horus Heresy podcast. This is episode 2 of year 8. And historically at this point, I've introduced my co-host with some sort of measuring system of things that they're comparable to, ultimately for the end game of calling my brother something horrible.
That's the usual.
That's been the classic thing.
Usually, mine is usually go to Mr. B is my go-to guy for the end of the discussion. So, okay.
But I thought I
should have noticed that, shouldn't I?
Something different. So, joining me this evening is my brother, Graham Mills. I don't know why I'm gesturing because it makes no difference. I don't know where he's going to be on the screen. And my dear friend, Mr. Michael Botterill.
Hello.
So, what's different, I hear you ask? Gentlemen, I have devised a small quiz.
Oh,
just to get your brain going. Just to get you started.
Right.
I remember I got brain damage that specifically affects my memory.
Well, exactly. So this is to help you. I'm also hoping to pitch it to someone at the BBC. So if anyone from the BBC is listening and they think, hang on a minute, this could be a runner.
This could be the next Taskmaster.
Possibly. It's more Saturday night quiz show kind of vibe, I feel.
Okay. The show that they shoved the lottery draw into, is it?
Yeah, that kind of vibe. Right. So
go on then.
I have 4 song titles.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right.
Okay.
That have been used by different bands, but they are not covers unless I mention a cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 4 facts about the song title and the songs.
Yes.
And you have to tell me what the song title is, and
fantastic!
I'll give you a bonus point if you can get the bands correctly.
Okay.
Oh,
now this is going to be so great.
I'm going
to really.
I was going to say, Mr. B's knowledge of classic rock is probably going to fail him here.
Possibly.
I guess it's Queen. Just Queen. That would have to be it. Only Queen.
But I'm going to be honest with you, I've probably spent more time preparing for this next 2 or 3 minutes than falling through Spotify, typing in song names, going, right, yep, is that one? Nope, that's a cover. Nope, okay, is that one? Yes, all right, okay. Now let's try and find out the facts.
Okay, let's go.
So let's do 4 facts about each one, and then I want your answer at the end.
Yes, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So.
How many songs are there?
There are, there are... And the 4th one's really hard. I won't bother doing that one because
go on. If I get all 3 right, I'm going to go with the bonus question.
Go to the bonus question. Right. One of these songs, a song of this title, was released as a non-charting promo single for a 1984 heavy metal album. A song of this title was a 1993 UK number 4 hit single for a family 3-piece. The most famous version of this song features the sounds of a hammer striking an anvil twice at the start of it. A 1940 novel by Ernest Hemingway shares the same title as this song. Those are your 4 facts.
4 facts.
I've tried to make it tricky because I knew that Potmaster over there might be on.
Those are difficult. Ernest Hemingway. Let's start with the 4th one then.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking, Stranger in a Strange Land. That's Iron Maiden, isn't it?
That is, yeah. I mean, it could be Iron Maiden. Who knows? I haven't. You've got to. If you can give me the
Hemingway. Crikey, what's the other one? Let's start again. Number 1.
Number 1. It was released as a non-charting promo single for a 1984 heavy metal album.
A non-charting promo single, and this is basically a song that has the same title as another song, but isn't.
Yeah, but isn't a cover.
Isn't a cover.
Yeah,
wow,
a song of this title.
Tough.
It is, isn't it?
Bloody hell!
The BBC are going to snap this up. A song of this title was a 1993 UK number 4 hit single for a. I'll change this slightly. For a trio of brothers.
Trio of brothers. Was
that rules out Bros.
Isn't that what's the name? What they're called? Hanson? They were brothers, weren't they?
They were, but it could be.
There were three of them.
And there were
It's
three
not
of them.
them. Trio of brothers.
Yeah.
God.
The most famous version of this song features the sound of a hammer striking an anvil twice at the beginning of it. And a 1940 novel by Ernest Hemingway shares this song's name.
Oh, God. What did Hemingway... Oh, no. Okay.
No?
I'm completely flummoxed. Hemingway.
You're going to kick
But
yourself.
the only one that I can think of, the only thing I'm linking Hemingway to heavy metal is To Whom the Bell Tolls. But I can't.
Mr. B.
Yes, that's
Mr.
it. Well
B
done.
for the win.
It's the point.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
It is.
Is it?
Mr. B
But
for
in
whom the
that
bell
chart-
tolls.
Who was the
No.
brothers then?
Well, can you get the other
Three.
the
Bros?
other band?
Bros?
No.
No, because they were two.
There was
So-
three of them, I'm sure, weren't there? No?
No,
Okay.
there was
Right.
two.
Whatever.
Yeah, Luke and Matt Goss were in
Yeah.
Boss.
Well,
I thought,
right.
wasn't there a Carl as well? I don't know.
Yeah.
Three brothers. Three brothers. God.
Three brothers.
Oh,
No.
no, that's not Oasis, because that's two brothers.
That's two brothers.
Band with three brothers in.
Come on. Do you want
Oh, give us a
do you want a hint?
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll take a hint, please, Bob.
in 3 days' time, you might you might be having this feeling.
Oh, right. Okay.
3 days' time.
Yeah.
In 3 days. No. Loving feeling? No.
No. Right. It's a clue. It's not the answer.
Okay. No,
3 or 4 days if you count today, but
that'll be Monday, right?
no, that'll be Monday. This is Wednesday. Do you want me to tell you?
Go on.
Go on.
The Bee Gees.
Oh, flipping heck, of course.
Staying Alive, Saturday Night
Yes.
Fever. They also weirdly had a song called One, which was kind of weird.
Okay, yeah.
So
they
both,
did.
and yeah,
But I
both
thought
also had
the-
songs called For Whom
The
the Bell
songs
Tolls.
were two completely
That's what I
different,
thought.
aren't they?
They were. They're both completely different songs, but they share the same title.
Oh, I was actually trying to figure. Oh, okay.
Hold on, wait a minute. What's Staying Alive?
Oh,
Whom
so
the Bell-
that was a hint for you to try and work out it was the Bee Gees.
So what song did the Bee Gees have that was the...
They had
Oh, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Of course they did.
They did a song called
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a
fair enough.
1993 number 4 UK chart hit.
Oh,
Charting
okay.
thing for a heavy metal band in 1984 being Metallica for the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, Ride the Lightning.
Very good.
Cool.
Very
That's
good.
one down. This is going to take longer than I thought.
Wow.
Right. Okay. Number
Was that the
2.
hard one?
You're dealing with
No, that's
Pickle.
not the hard one. Trust me.
Gee.
That's,
That's the hard one. Come
right.
on,
Okay. Okay. We'll just do the.
Do one more.
We'll do these.
Because we're going to be here all
There's-
night.
I think
Basically.
the third one of these you'll get relatively easy. I think.
Okay.
Right. The second one.
Yes.
It was released as a US only single in 1971 and reached number 28 in the Billboard chart.
Okay.
It was preemptively covered in 1970 by the Flying Burrito Brothers. It was an album track on the 2004 number 1 album Unwritten. And the song of this title was voted the 193rd greatest song of all time in 2021 by Rolling Stone magazine.
Wild horses.
Mr. B.
What?
Flying burritos.
Yeah, Mr. B. I wasn't sure about putting that
Master.
clue in there or not. What? Okay,
That was it. No. It's just
So Wild
Wild
Horses
Horse.
was by the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
1971. And what was the Osmonds
no.
also did it? No?
The Flying Burrito Brothers asked if they could release it.
Yeah.
And then the Stones put it on Sticky Fingers. But that's not the other artist I'm looking for. It's
Okay,
the
did the same song.
2004 number 1 album
that was
Unwritten.
unwritten.
It's after 1991. You know that I'm got
2004.
2004.
more your
That
era.
Natasha
Mr.
Bedingfield.
It is indeed Mr. B. Ah,
Oh,
Rolling
here we go.
Stones,
I
Natasha
know nothing
Bedingfield.
about this.
and Wild Horses.
Not Natasha Bedingfield. She was all right.
But yeah, they both had individual songs titled Wild Horses.
She's an
Okay.
absolute mental, happy clappy Christian now, though, apparently. But
Good for her.
So there you go.
Right.
Well, sorry, I was
Last
thinking
one.
of
There's-
Crazy
there's-
Horses by the Osmonds. Not
Oh,
yeah, Crazy Horse. Yes, of course, yeah. And yeah.
Nice try. Right, okay.
Well done, Mr. B.
Here we go. This one, there are 3 bands or artists that have used songs of this title.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
The first song of this name was released in 1984. 2 other songs of this name were released in 1985. It was number 1 in the charts in 1984, and it was that artist's final UK number 1. In
It's not Cliff
1985,
Richard then.
in 1985, it charted at number 9, and the other version of it charted at number 1 and was the biggest song of the year in that year.
1985.
One of the 1985 versions of the song was released in support of a well-known film featuring a DeLorean.
Power of Love, Jennifer Rush and Huey Lewis and the News. No, they're 2 songs. Yes.
Yeah, but I said 3 for this one.
Oh, Frank Hollywood.
And for exactly, there he goes. He comes up at the end. Power of Love. Yeah. Huey Lewis and the News. Frank Goes to Hollywood was number 1. Jennifer Rush number 1. Huey Lewis and the News number 9 of the charts. It also, Gabrielle Aplin covered Frank Goes to Hollywood version, and that was also a number 1 in 2012.
Wow. For some bizarre reason, I was thinking Always on My Mind, and I was like, no, that's not the right year, is it?
There we go.
Do you want the really hard one?
Well,
go on.
Surprised, because this could be the tiebreaker. He's 2-1 up. I don't know if we've got any listeners left at this point, so let's carry on.
This is the stuff they've come for. They come for
the bizarre.
Come for the heresy. Now it pop master.
I just thought we'd mix it up a bit. Just do something a bit different. Get everyone's brains, and they'll be screaming at their phones, whatever.
The power of love. Only people my age will get those 3. I mean, that's a tricky one. Mind you, Huey Lewis and the News was the.
I was like 2, so
go on then. Last one.
Okay, this one I'm just looking for the song title. You'll find out who the artists are during the during the clues.
Yes.
There are 4 people that 4 bands or artists that have had songs with this title that are separate from each other and not covers. Right. Songs of this title were released in 1960, 1977, 1986, and 2001, respectively.
But they're not the same song. They're just
they're not covers.
Same title.
They're same title, different songs. Dean Martin, Marvin Lee Ade, Bruce Dickinson, and Michael Jackson all sung on songs with this title. This song can be found on the albums Somewhere in Time, Bat Out of Hell, This Time I'm Swinging, and Invincible. Only one song of this title was charted, and it reached number 72 in the US Hot R&B hip hop songs in 2001.
What was the Iron Maiden album?
Somewhere in Time.
Right. His head goes through the set list God. Wasted Years.
You rock my world.
Marvin Lee Ade is also known as Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Just to.
That's on Bat Out of Hell.
And it's on Bat Out of Hell.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's not on. Oh, come on. This is going to really annoy me because I should know this one.
I'm just.
If we could license music, I would
we would be having a
we
little
would have a little
intro.
snippet to help you, but obviously budgets and
Right,
stuff
I
like
don't know about the other guys, but the only no, that's not it. No. Is it Heaven? No, that can't be it. Can it be Heaven Can Wait? Because I think no.
Mr. B,
Heaven Can Wait is right.
he's absolutely done it.
Absolutely nailed it. Heaven Can Wait. That's the other one on.
Because I was about one of 5 people who actually bought Invincible, but I didn't buy it. It was given to Creed for Christmas, but
That's the Michael Jackson version.
That's the Michael Jackson one. Yeah.
I quite liked Michael Jackson until you realised.
Dean Martin, Iron Maiden, Meatloaf, and Michael Jackson have all had songs titled "Heaven Can Wait."
Oh, there's me going through the bloody track list.
I was yeah.
Well done, well played, Mr.
Which
B.
is the one that charted?
Michael Jackson released his single. The others were all album tracks.
Did he?
Yeah, it got released in America. Number 70.
Oh, right. Okay.
Number 72 in the US. Something no one cares chart.
Okay, pop pickers. Well done, Chris. I'm sure that went exactly to plan. But Mr. B
it went
is
about as close to plan as I
Mr.
could
B
hope.
is absolutely awesome at this game.
I didn't know.
Right.
I was literally just running through because I could remember the list from Invincible, and I was like, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Like,
yeah.
But the only one I can remember being released as a single was "You Rock My World." So I'm like, can't be that.
Nah, it was released in America. Well, there you go. That's my little musical quiz. That's a little bit of the show.
Thanks for that, Chris. Should we do some heresy?
Yeah.
Are we saying that's not to return? Is that what we're saying here?
Well, I think we can now. It was hard enough to try and find 3 things to do for the intro, but now you've raised the bar.
I've got something for next time, but
we'll have to have a little quiz.
Not necessarily, but I just
yeah, okay, fair enough.
I might come back with some different games for my rotation. Or if people out there want to offer suggestions for things that Graham will unquestionably not remember, then send them in.
Maybe look at the one I've written. Maybe these comparisons are a bit too mean, so perhaps not.
Okay, well, I look forward to that.
And sorry, if you just let us in. Tell us if you want to keep the quiz going for the future. Just I'm open to feedback.
I can see the BBC snapping.
If you work for the BBC
Radio
or even Channel 5, I'll take anything, because I think there could be not long legs in it, but I think we can get a series.
A full series of name the peculiar song and it's not cover version.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Cool.
Tonight.
But I'd like to point out, who would have thought that the Bee Gees would have done a song called "For Whom the Bell Tolls"?
I can, vaguely actually remember the Bee Gees how it went. Bizarrely.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah. More if it went to that from my point of view than
I was going to say. That looked like hard work.
It really was.
Hard work.
Now typing how much of a song can you include in a podcast episode before copyright kicks?
I think all of it. None of it, basically.
None of it, basically. You're right.
The Wild Horses one was actually where I started.
Okay.
And
I kept thinking Crazy Horses. And I was like,
I had all the things for the Rolling Stones. I was like, Natasha Bedingfield never released it as a single. Well, okay, it's just going to be about the Rolling Stones, and we'll just shove in the fact that it was on a Natasha Bedingfield album.
Okay. Very good. Cool. Okay, let's do it.
Let's talk. So we're going to talk some heresy. We're going to talk about HQs, all the HQs that you can possibly ever wish to have from an Astartes list. So your Praetors, your Centurions, all those.
Not navigators.
Not your navigators. None of your.
Because they're not in there anymore.
No, absolutely none of that nonsense. So shall we dive straight in? Anything? Anyone got anything?
Much. Okay.
Anyone got anything else to add to the slightly odd intro that we've decided to?
No, I think that's all good. Let's. I think it'd be interesting to find out what people's default. I think there's certain HQs that I go back to all of my armies. Be interesting to see what other people on the non-specialist character, like named character ones.
Yeah,
there are other ways of taking HQs.
Would you know what I mean? Like what consoles to use? Because
Oh yeah.
we'll come on to this because there'll be a
Yeah.
discussion.
Absolutely. Let's
Okay.
rock and roll.
Okay, cool. So HQs, obviously, commanders of your forces. You have to have at least one, and you can't necessarily have all of them. So, Master of the Legion, kind of enabling your force to employ rights to war if you're using a Praetor, because they come with, or anything with Master of the Legion,
Yeah,
basically.
because delegatus and
Delegatus can have it. But yeah, that kind of gives you the option to tailor your army to best fit the sort of army that you want to play. So that's kind of where the Praetors are. Centurions, they're kind of a bit more specialist. So they tend to bring additional value above what you get from a Praetor, but they have lesser in terms of stats. And not all of them can be used as your compulsory HQ choice.
and you can always just take a
single HQ, single Centurion.
A Centurion without giving him a.
You totally can.
Yeah.
La-di-da.
You can. You don't have to give them the upgrade to make them a sort of console type, if you like. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. But I know there's a Space Wolf Right of War where you can take just those and they can be added to your squads, can't they? If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Anyway, these figures offer unparalleled. So console types are very, very rare, varied. Just in the normal Astartes list, not including all the specialist ones that you get from different legions. They offer you unparalleled customization, allowing you the freedom to get army lists that differ wildly from those employed by your opponents. So yeah, so this is on paper, the HQ types are all the same, but ultimately, you can specialize these to match what sort of army you want to play. So go, Mr. B. Mm-hmm. Talk about Praetor, please.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose Praetors are like the archetypal big, huge, great big commander that strides the battlefield, basically ruling it all. They're basically chapter masters in comparison.
Yeah, I was going to say
to modern 40k, and they're pretty important. So the big thing about them is the Master of the Legion rule, where very few models actually have access to this. And the Praetor is the one that's most common. And you take this because it allows you to take a right of war, which we'll delve into properly in later episodes into specifics of what they are. But I think most of your listeners will know what the right of war basically allows you to customize your list, change it a bit, by including units in certain places, giving you special rules. I think that's probably the best way of putting it. The second big part of a Master of Legion is you can take a retinue, a command squad or Legion specific unit with the retinue special rule in the same force org slot as a HQ. So you can get, for example, Death Guard can take Death Shroud as extra along with the Master of Legion. So they don't need to take them in a HQ slot or an elite slot. And this is great sometimes. And command squads are really good in general. We will discuss those because they're part of the HQ section. And having a Master of Legion to take that sort of adds to their effectiveness.
Yeah.
Basically, where you are, if you're in a game and you're not fielding a Primarch or main character of Praetor level, Praetors are kind of I suppose to a degree, depends on if you want a right of war.
I wouldn't say they were essential.
I wouldn't say not essential, but they're considered by most players to be essential.
I think that you saw a lot more Praetors in version 1 than you do in version 2.
Yes.
Weirdly.
Agreed.
And I think because, I mean, the Praetors, I think you don't tend to see them because the classic thing was to kind of bang them in with a normal Praetor, Power Fist, and a Paragon Blade. And I guess actually that's one of the things that they have got, is that their war gear selection is better than that of the Centurion types.
Yeah.
I think it's still fair to say that most players will consider it an essential, but I don't think it's obligatory anymore.
The only thing I would say that a Praetor is really useful now, as I found out the other day, is if you're going up against Fulgrim Transfigured, the demon version.
Yeah.
So the demon version of Fulgrim will have to chase down anything with weapon skill 6.
Yes.
And a Praetor is weapon skill 6, whereas a Centurion is weapon skill 5. So yeah, you can
But-
just
It's harder for him to hit a weapon skill 5 person than it is a weapon skill 6 person.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So there is that weapon skill 6. I mean, weapon skill 6, weapon skill 5. It's still, I think you're somebody else's weapon skill 5 is still hitting you on 4s, aren't they?
Yeah, and also they have they do have a limit. You have to take them. You can't take them until you get to 1,000 points, if I remember rightly. And you can only take one per 1,000 points.
Correct. I don't think I've ever seen anybody take multiple Praetors.
I don't know why you would.
I can't think of any. I can't think of any time I've seen a list with multiple Praetors in it.
Because
I mean, for the stats wise, they're pretty handy.
Oh yeah, they're excellent.
But I mean, 2 plus 4 plus.
But I think
But
when you're
it's
in
handy.
120 points and Jeff the Centurion's 60 points base, and then you can chuck possibly another 100, 400, and another 60 points at him and make him slightly more versatile than these guys.
Yeah, I don't
But-
disagree.
He does come in 3 different flavors. So why don't we take a look at those?
Yeah.
It's a bit where I'm going to do some talking, isn't it? Because I've just realised
Yes,
I haven't
so
scrolled
it's
down the document at all.
Normal Legion Praetors in power.
Normal Legion
Wow.
Praetors.
Not really power.
Has 1
Last
field
armor.
wound compared to the other 2 alternatives, but has a 2+ armor save and a 4++ invulnerable save. Same as Cataphractile option. So why would you take it? Yet the Praetor lacks the associated drawbacks exactly, such as being able to sweep and suffering the heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavy roll. Yep.
Heavy rule.
Cataphractile armor's heavy.
I haven't heard you say that word in such a long time. It just brings me so much joy. Additionally, the standard Praetor is equipped with frag grenades. So disordered charge nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, he's
However, it comes with only a chainsaw and bolt plus its base equipment, making it the least equipped for upgrades and consequently increasing the cost of him. Yet 120 points.
you're going to want to spend some points.
It's a bag of change, yeah, because you're going to probably want to give him
Paragon
Well,
Blade.
Paragon Blade or Thunderhammer for come on, brain.
Yeah,
Brutal.
I don't think the Paragon Blade is the automatic these days with the Thunderhammer being so good.
I don't think I would take a Thunderhammer or Praetor, and the reason is
Goes last and is going to get
challenges.
Yeah.
Although
See,
the argument is, of course, that you probably wouldn't run in with a unit that could get challenged out actually, a sergeant. But yeah, I'm always wary of giving my Praetor. I don't know why. Maybe it's just force of habit. Giving him a Thunderhammer. I mean, you would get. I mean, what's
you
his
could do
base attack?
Thunderhammer Paragon Blade.
You could if you were. I
If
mean,
you
that's
were-
probably
if you
not
had
a bad
200 points
option.
to spend.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a guy made up with a Power Fist and a Paragon Blade, and I suppose only another 5 points for a Thunderhammer in there, which would actually be a lot better choice.
Which is actually better than Power Fist, yeah.
That would also give you an extra attack. So their base
exactly.
attacks are 4.
Mhm.
So if you did bang in another 60 points, which would give him, you're already up to 180 at that point, by the way.
Yeah.
So he's not cheap.
It's
but he would
Custodes.
be-
Just Custodes.
Because that is
basically.
territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's 5 attacks then, 5 attacks base.
Yeah.
And, can deal with anything.
And then you got to consider, but
Sure.
of course, you got to consider what are you running him with. So
Yeah, I mean, quite
Uh,
often you would run in with something just ablative wounds captures, wouldn't you? Because you don't really want them in a challenge, because challenges aren't quite as good as they used to be, where you can get kind of bogged down because your attacks don't go over anymore.
what about you? Okay, cool. So I mean, I think he's really good.
With a reasonable, if you had 30 points to spend, I would always probably go for the Paragon Blade. I think
Yeah, I
Just-
think I'm
just
oh,
that- initiative
Yes.
AP2 is
In a Astartes, yes.
Yeah.
I have an issue with Paragon Blade in my favourite army. But I'll
Gotcha.
discuss that at another time.
another time. Yeah, but yeah, I think a Paragon Blade 30 points that gives him initiative AP2, which is always super useful against Terminators because they're going to be taking those Thunderhammers. Unless you want to spend another 30 points, like say Chris, and
I mean,
bang one on there.
Whack a jump pack on him as well. Make him a nice round 200 points.
Mm.
Stick him in an assault squad. Boom.
yeah,
I
he
did-
does. He does
I
have
did-
that versatility of being able to give him your jump pack, your bike.
he can
jet
take
bike.
a combat shield for free, and and I'm
Yep.
like, why on earth would you ever do that?
Yeah. The game is littered. This version of the rules
I know if you take
is littered with like,
yeah,
why?
hey, have a combat shield.
That gives you a 6+.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got 4+ symbol. I mean, the boarding
Combat shield
shield's
doesn't add
interesting.
one to it, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It's just sticks up.
But I don't know whether a combat shield, like a boarding shield, takes your one attack away for having 2 weapons. So a boarding shield takes 1 attack away. I was like, why would you want that? The only advantage I can see of doing that is it does say if you give them a boarding shield, they become heavy. So if you ran this model with Terminators, they would still keep the heavy subtype, which may or may not be useful. But if every model in the unit's got the heavy type, then you can re-roll wounds from blast and template weapons.
Okay.
So
So,
you can whack him in your breaches or something if you're going for a.
Or even bang him in with a Terminator squad, because you could if you had, if you didn't mind losing the heavy, and that's always a decision.
In Zone Mortalis, he's going to cause a bother with a combat shield with a thingy.
Do you know what is actually interesting? I was thinking about this the other day. He can take a disintegrator pistol,
Which are super cool.
but you never see him taken. I think the reason is because if you roll a 1, you're dead. They're instant death, and the instant death carries on.
It does. You're still going to get your 4+ it.
Yeah. We all know that's going to be a failure.
I would, for some of the other legions that can't take melter pistols, there is a console that can take them doubled up, and
double disintegrator pistols is basically asking to die.
But it's no different. It's no different to how the Moratat was when he had double plasma pistols, or a plasma pistol in version 1.
I suppose the plasma pistol always had you had a save from the plasma pistol. That was AP2, wasn't it?
It was AP2 back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. So yeah, good point. Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, you got to be pretty ballsy, I think, to run double disintegrator pistols.
No,
and just go right.
Or just
12
just
shots.
an idiot.
I'm not going to roll a single one. But anyway, we'll come on to that Moratat type.
You're missing out. You're missing out that some people are just idiots.
Do you take Praetors in your lists? Do you start with the Praetor? When
I do Astartes, I never take. My Blood Angels, I took one because he was there to represent one of Sanguinus's bodyguard.
Okay.
And he was modelled as such.
Right. So for narrative reasons.
For narrative reasons, yeah. Whereas I would generally start with a different HQ for.
Yeah, I'm with you. I used to be, because I think I used to use these when I used to use lots of Rights of War. But
yeah,
I think in this version I don't use Rights of War anymore. I think maybe because the armies that I've got, the Rights of War I mean, if I was obviously Imperial Fist player, I would have a Praetor to get the Stone Gauntlet, because you have to, or get a Delegatus. But
you can get around it. It's I don't think Rights of War are quite what they
I
used to be. So I don't think, and I think you can make your armies still interesting without using Rights of War.
I can't tend to agree. I mean,
for me, it does depend on what those Rights of War do. If I do need, if it's going to make my army better. So Death Guard, I want rag grenades. So I'm going to take them. I want the heavy.
All of the Craft World Death Guard,
all the nonsense.
I want heavy support squads in.
Want your fleet
in my troop choices.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it. Imperial Fists.
Got your shuriken cannons.
Shuriken cannons and
Imperial Fists. Actually, the
wave serpents to put your army in.
Yeah,
the Templar Assault is really, really good. So.
What are the war crew things? I forgot what they're called now. Oh, that's going to annoy me.
War Walkers. Are they War Walkers?
Yeah.
Were they? Oh.
Yeah,
Wraith
Lords. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh yeah. You've got the Sentinel one, which is a War Walker.
You've got
the
striking scorpions hiding off on the side. Yeah.
You've got the
I know what you want.
But yeah.
Okay. What about the next type of Praetor?
So yeah, this is probably slightly more useful. Obviously, same stat line, but the difference is obviously you're then chugging about in cataphracti armor. Now, there's kind of an argument here, which is the invulnerable save isn't actually any better, and the base save isn't any better. So why would you spend the extra, however many points it is? He said, "Man looks up the thing in book very quickly."
Yeah, there's nothing I can think of in terms of save wise.
But I guess 130. So for an extra 15 points, you get an extra wound, which actually is pretty useful.
Mm-hmm.
4 wounds is difficult. The only thing I would say is you're probably going to get clattered by strength 8 stuff, which will double you out anyway. So I think I would probably, if I was running a Terminator squad, maybe something like what they called the Salamander ones, Fire Drakes.
Fire Drakes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd take a Praetor with them. I mean, their leadership is 10 rather than 9, which is on Centurions. So there is that. But yeah, other than that, I don't see a lot of. I mean, they do come with a free power weapon, whereas the Terminator version doesn't. So there's, for 15 points, an extra wound and a power weapon. That's not bad, actually.
Yep.
In terms of points. So, but yeah, I think you then have the you can't sweeping advance, and you're now plodding along slowly.
I think the 15 it balances itself out.
Yeah.
I know mechanically they've got to put a points increase because the armor's more, but I think the additional wound is balanced out by the fact that you're going to be in that combat maybe another turn or two.
Yeah. Which may be the difference. I mean, you're also giving your squad leadership 10. So, and you're inexorable by default with Terminator armor, which means that you don't take the minuses to your leadership unless it's fear.
No, but you can't obliterate your opponent and they can.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the downside. So yeah, it's horses for courses. I don't think I've got too many. I don't think I've got a Praetor model in Terminator armor, to be honest. In my Ultramarines or might have been Salamanders because it's from the old edition. But yeah, okay.
I don't think any of my Astartes armies have ever had a Terminator.
I think it depends if you bought.
I think there was that.
Trail
that
of
good
Calth.
there was that good.
The
Trail of Calth
Thousand
one.
Suns might have done.
You had that model with the chain fist and the combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Calth one, which came with the. You can still get him. It comes with the chaplain.
The old Praetor set had the Terminator.
He was cool. He was a good-looking model.
He was good. He was a good-looking chap.
What did he come with? He came with the guy with the kind of champion.
The Paragon Blade guy.
Blade guy.
He had a Paragon Blade. He had a Volkite, I think, and a Paragon Blade.
There was the power armor one.
Guy.
You can still get him, I think.
That's a good combo, actually. Yeah,
you get one with the Architect pistol and a blade.
That's it. Yeah.
Which could be a Paragon Blade.
Yeah. So yeah, horses for courses. Really, there's you will get the other things if you do rock around in the Cataphracti. You do get the heavy subtype with its pluses and minuses. So if you wanted the reroll for flamer weapons, for example, you would want him to have heavy at the very least.
Yes, you can still get that double pack, a power armor guy in Mark III and a Cataphracti guy, and they're £45.
Yeah, which isn't bad, really, considering the individual price of models.
Considering the individual Terminator guy is £32.50.
Yeah. So that's actually quite a bargain now. But yeah.
But he comes with a chaplain as well.
Because you can get the
easily
Cataphract. Because they redid the chain fist bolter guy, didn't they? He's in with a chaplain now, isn't he? As a
he was always with him with a chaplain.
That was with the Betrayal of Cal set. Had the two of them on him.
Yeah, he was always in a chaplain. They shared the same sprue.
Yeah, chaplain
always have.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Praetor by default initiative 5, so you're going to go before most Marines.
Yeah.
4 attacks, 5 extras combat weapon. Pretty useful.
Yeah, and let's be fair,
Leadership
there's a fair few decent Praetor models that Games Workshop are doing now for various legions as well as a few generic ones. So
the next one though, not so much.
Yeah, the red-headed stepchild of the Praetors, the Praetor in Tartarus armor. Cheapest of the free option. He doesn't, he's got the additional wound, but he's only got a 5++ invulnerable save, and so he's the most delicate of all of them. But he can sweep, and he's got better mobility compared to Cataphracti. So,
I think I would. They're not heavy, are they?
No.
So yeah, I would. I would never. No, is basically my answer to that.
You
one.
rare.
No.
I've rarely seen a Tartarus Praetor. I mean, GW do some Legion specific in Tartarus armor, but I suppose it depends on the.
It was
Legion
the
rules, isn't it?
Games Day model thing, wasn't there, with Tartarus armor? Because I've got him somewhere.
I
He had
don't
like a two-handed paragon blade.
Oh, the Praetor Tribune. Yes.
Praetor Tribune. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he was a whole separate model at one point, but
He
yeah,
was,
he's
yeah.
in Paragon armor. Sorry, he's in Tartarus armor.
Tartarus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you would, because if you wanted something that wasn't heavy, I would take the other
the
other
Praetor.
model. So if I had a squad of let's say I had a squad of Tartarus armored Terminators.
He is the cheapest of all of them.
I
that's true.
take a Tartarus Praetor quite often with my Death Guard. The reason being, the Death Shroud are in Tartarus armor.
Yeah, there are times where he is,
and Death Shroud are.
But you see what I mean? You could get a
Good.
better model with no benefit, with no downsides by spending 10 more points. If you see what I mean.
but he loses a wound.
He does lose a wound. That is true.
Actually, no, does he? Tartarus Praetor, 4 wounds.
4 wounds. Yeah, normal Praetor 3 wounds. So he does lose a wound.
He just lose a wound. Yeah, so
5+ in one. Scary. But then again, there's me, extolling the virtues of taking Centurions, which have got a 5+ in one. But
yeah,
probably for the same point. So yeah, there's probably horses with courses.
Yeah, I've always
Depending
taken
on-
them because back in the day, it was just easier to take a Tartarus armor Praetor for the Death Guard if you're taking Death Shroud.
I would take, if I'm taking a Terminator one, I would probably take Tartarus over Cataphracti, because I like to sweep and I like to get out of combats and I like to mow down units as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and it also depends on how you play as well. So
yeah,
I'm not adverse to obviously sweeping advances, and they can be super useful. And in fact, when I went to that Scotland event, I had a Centurion on his own, and he attacked a squad, did one more wound than that squad, and this was a full squad.
Yeah.
They then lost initiative, and then he chased them down and killed them. And it was just like, oh, yay! But those are few and far between. Most of the time, it's like, okay, I need to kill this squad in this turn. I've killed them. I've won the combat. They failed their leadership. Roll to sweep. Won.
There is, other instances. So if you're an Imperial Fist player, for instance, just
saying,
just putting this out there.
Yeah.
So you can take a shield to give you a better invulnerable save. It's a few more points, admittedly.
You can 3 up invulnerable save.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got Tartarus guys with 3 up invulnerable save.
Totally worth it.
And you can deep strike them because they can take and just double check so he's not still living in the past.
no, I'm pretty sure they can take them.
Yeah, they can take teleportation strikes. So
teleportation transponders.
It's teleport strike is what it's called now, but yeah.
The free ones they got from the custodian.
The ones they nicked out the back of off the off the back of the custodian.
That
Sorry,
will never get old. But yeah, I think if I was running Imperial Fists, I would take the Tartarus one because he's got 4 wounds. Give him the shield, which I'm assuming isn't 30 points.
A virtual pattern shield. Let me tell you. How much do you want to guess?
I'm going to go with, it should be at least 25.
It should be.
I
can't remember.
20 points.
Okay, that's not too bad. I was dreading you were going to say 10, because if you were, that would just end up with another rant and me using.
Is it normal Terminator?
Some very industrial language.
So basically, if it's an Imperial Fist character with independent character, does not have a unique subtype, may take a virtual pattern storm shield for 20 points. However, if they're in Cataphracti Terminator armor, it's 10 points.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense because they've already got 4+.
And command squads can take them for 15 points apiece.
What about normal Terminators?
15 points per model.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, 3, that becomes super hard then.
Yeah.
Because you've then got the cheaper model plus 20 points puts him at 130, so he's only 10 points more than in fact, he's the same cost, isn't he, as Cataphracti?
Fraction cheaper than a Cataphracti. at that
Yeah,
point.
5 points.
and
cheaper
can
than
now
Character.
sweep.
And now
sweep
and-
and run, and has a 3+ in run.
Yeah.
And people say this game is fair.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need to take it.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So yeah, what's your favorite? So what's your favorite type of Praetor?
Praetor. I think
I
I'd
believe
probably-
I have set my stall out.
Yeah, I think you've probably done that. I think for a generic army, so not using a legion specific one.
A normal
Um,
Praetor for me.
I think a normal Praetor with a Paragon Blade, and if I've got the points, I would give him a Power Fist. But now, if I've got the modelling, I will now change that to a Thunderhammer because it's a much better idea for 5
I mean,
points.
your Paragon Blade it's a unit. You only really see it in HQs because that's it. It's initiative 5. It's initiative. Where
it is
initiative? What am I?
initiative 5. It's initiative 5
Yeah,
because
initiative 5 because
initiative
that's the initiative
Plus 1
5,
strength.
AP 2,
strength 5.
yeah, and
Give him if you give them the Thunderhammer,
So
you're looking at a nice round.
here's a question.
6
then.
attacks, 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you taking the Paragon Blade unnecessarily?
I don't think so because I think if you're going,
Bear in mind, you're going to do the same number of attacks.
you are.
You're going
but
to
here's the
double
thing.
them out.
Yes, but you're going to do it at the same time that they're going to do you, and that's the thing. If you excuse the expression,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But if you going initiative 5,
They're
with
going to
an
69
AP2,
you at the same time. whereas-
absolutely. Yeah. Whereas with the Paragon Blade, you get into snicker snack, Jabberwocky style,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're killing them before they can kill you.
That's
and
right.
there's actually a chance that
Ex-
on a 6 you're going to kill them, double them out, right?
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
the
'cause you've got
argu-
murderous strike, hasn't
one of the
Yeah.
arguments back in the day for taking the Power Fist as well as the Paragon Blade was not only the specialist weapon extra
Yep.
attack thing, but it means you're a little bit more versatile instead
Also,
of just being able to deal with.
Yeah, you can take vehicles out.
it was better then.
Yeah.
Whereas now, because the Thunderhammer has brutal,
But every time,
it's
for 5 points, it makes no sense to have a Power Fist. The Thunderhammer, and in fact, I'm going to go and get my snippers out directly after this.
some models
and
getting
Somebody's getting a reworking. I'm surprised I didn't think of it before, but yeah, good shout there, Chris. But yeah, I think that would be the generic Praetor. So you get the extra attack, you can deal with anything, even a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
If you can survive long enough.
But you're going to, because you're going to be, well,
Would you give them
You're-
I would never give them like too much in the way of shooting though. I wouldn't give them like plasma
don't-
pistols or anything. I think
the thing with HQ units generally is that's not what they're there for.
they're there for close combat. They're always
Yeah.
apart from one
There's
or
2 or 3
maybe
that are,
2 or 3 that are support, but
yeah,
the rest of them are all about close combat, and you
I
want to
mean,
tool them up.
because they can't, they can't take any sensible weaponry to do anything
No.
at range anyway. It's all
Yeah.
mid-
I mean, bear in mind, if
short range.
he's going to be your warlord, right? So if he dies, he's giving away a victory point or even D3 victory points. So you want to protect him, and you want to make sure that he can propose a threat.
his weapon choices are a Nemesis bolter, a shotgun, a Volkite charger,
Yeah.
combi weapons, Volkite serpenter, hand flamer, plasma pistol, architect pistol.
I think the
disintegrator pistol.
temptation is that
Everything there is about 12 inches apart
Yeah.
from the
Nemesis
bolter.
I generally speaking, maybe
He is relentless though, so he can actually sniper something and then get in combat, which actually isn't terrible. But yeah.
at most my Praetor might get a plasma pistol.
I don't think, and the reason being
Two
is,
close combat weapons.
yeah, because you run the risk, like back in the good old days where you could get within 12, shoot with your pistols and then charge, right? And that was always a good thing to do because you could take some wounds off. Now, of course, the only way you're ever going to do that is if they've run out of reactions.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to risk them firing back at you to kill you before you actually get a chance to charge them.
And also, there's always a chance that your plasma pistol is going to come up AP4 and just go bunk.
Yeah. So I think I don't think a plasma pistol is necessarily worth the 15 points, to be honest with you, because of
I
you
mean,
only use it
As I say,
that
that was always my choice in the old day: plasma pistol and
totally
Paragon
get it. In
Blade.
the old days, it would have made sense. AP2, right? No, a risk-free shot.
Yeah, the old days, it was always a plasma pistol and a Paragon Blade. But these days, I don't know. I think because I've been playing fists mostly, it's a shield.
Sensible man.
Yeah,
It's a shield and a Paragon Blade. But
You can't beat a 3+ invulnerable save.
Anyway,
you can. It's just very difficult.
Just
but to be
takes a lot of
honest,
effort.
I'd be if you're looking for a ranged option, you have to have a ranged option. Bolt pistol. Stick with a bolt pistol.
Bolt pistol. Yeah, I agree.
Don't bother with anything other than a bolt pistol. That's just my opinion, because I don't think that anything.
Charnable sabers. Have you ever thought about chucking one of them on?
They are useful, but they're only really useful in challenges.
That's 10 points is quite a lot for them.
I looked at them for the Emperor's Children list because it made sense for that.
Yeah.
But it's really the best qualities of them only come out in challenges.
I think if I was going to say anything,
they have a good murderous strike though. But...
again, there's also a theme. I think I'd be tempted with them, definitely in an Emperor's Children list, but also maybe a White Scars list.
I mean, a chain axe for 5 points isn't a bad upgrade if you were very, very tight on points and you absolutely had to have a Praetor.
But I think if you're tight on points at that point, just get a Centurion and take something else.
Yeah, totally.
And build out a Centurion.
Take a champion.
Champion with the Paragon Blade for free.
We'll talk about them later.
Okay, cool. Let's move.
Right.
So all in all, I think yes, good choices. In summary, the only time we would use a Tartarus Terminator is if we were Imperial Fists, or I think, and I'm not sure. I'm
even
going to
now,
check
I
it
take
out.
Cataphracti.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Even now, yes. I'm getting the mix up in my head.
Yeah. Tartarus. I don't know whether I think, and I'm going to just double check that the Salamanders can also take their shield, 3+ shields with their
look for you.
characters, but I don't know
believe
for
they can.
absolute fact. So
They used to.
But other than that, just a normal Praetor, 2+, 4+, Thunderhammer, a Paragon Blade. It's 180 points. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Bang on a jetpack if you've got, and then put him with a
Dragon Scale shields. Just to break it to you, Dragon Scale shields are 5+, or it increases the.
That's it by +1. They're not
a maximum.
Yeah, that's what it is. So they would only make it 4+,
3.
So
yeah. They would make a Tartarus, 4+. Yes, sorry.
They make Cataphracti 3+, worth it. Not really worth making 5+ to 4+ for a Praetor.
Yep. Okay. Shall we talk about command squads then?
Dragon Scale Storm Shields. A model of Dragon Scale Storm Shield may not claim an additional attack for a second weapon.
Yeah. Which is the same, I think, for the Vigilus pattern one.
Yep.
I think it is.
I mean, to be fair, an extra, sticking with the normal number of attacks and then you get a 3+ save is not actually terrible.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So command squads then.
Yeah. See, these are really different because I don't think we did see them in the last edition, just nowhere near to what we see them now.
I rate them.
Yeah.
Certainly the non-Terminator versions. If you haven't got a specialist unit like Caesarean, Fire Drakes, Just Aaron, etc., that you can use as a squad instead.
They are useful. It's the fact that I think they can probably get pricey quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing, because you're paying 60 points. 85 points, sorry.
Here's where I think they're really, really cool, right? If you keep them super cheap, they come with a 2+ save.
Yeah.
Even in power armor. Mm-hmm. And they get weapon skill 5.
They get artificer armors.
Oh, yeah. But also the standard bearer, right? Which I've used quite a lot in my armies. Mainly with just Aaron, but having them as that command squad, that means that you can create quite a tasty unit that's also scoring. And fearless because of the banner.
Yeah.
Which actually is a pretty big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's where I've used them, command squads. I think Ultramarines have got them, definitely got some non-Aaron ones in my Sons of Horus, just to give that fearless, because, that's super useful in this game. So yeah, that's my recommendation. I do use them quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Got to be
I
honest.
think they do have to, in my personal opinion, have to complement your Praetor or Master of the Legion.
Yeah.
You know, there are Master Legions, but if you're not doing that, then I don't really think there's any point taking them. Because if you're putting a ranged unit with a combat Praetor, I just don't think that makes sense, at least to me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So if you are going to take them, and you know what the cool thing is, we know there is a new plastic kit coming.
Is there?
Yes, it was on the roadmap, and I'm pretty sure that's what one of the things was on the video from
Bolt
the years.
pistol and chainsword. There sort of thing. Bolt pistol, chainsword.
Yeah, I
Take
think
a bolt.
I've got my Ultramarines have got bolt pistols and chainswords, just because they're a close combat unit, right? So there's no point tricking them out with combi weapons or anything like Mr. B says.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them with.
do a job.
If they're there to complement a range Praetor, a melee Praetor, which to be fair, all Praetors should be. I think you need to complement them with weapons. I mean, weapon wise, it's.
I wouldn't go
obviously-
crazy because you can really,
No.
like Chris says, you can spend a lot.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
some of
because
these
you.
guys.
I mean,
It depends. I mean, say for
Power
example,
fists and all sorts.
yeah, just.
I mean, no, I wouldn't do that.
Mind you,
Maybe power axes.
I never use power axes, Mr. B. Never.
They can't take power axes for a start. Oh, they take power.
Power
Yeah,
weapons,
power,
sorry.
power weapon. Yeah.
I would never take power axes, and
power
you know
axes
my
are-
feelings on power axes. Initiative. If you're going to take a power axe, take a power fist because it's only 5 more points.
Yeah.
And it's much better.
Well, but I mean, so you've got.
What about taking a 5 or 6 man squad, tooling them up? I wonder how many points that would compare to like taking a specialist Legion specific unit. In
The thing, a lot of the specialist Legion specific units have got additional rules that help them in ways. That's the
yeah,
thing.
that's true enough. That is
I
true
think you
enough.
kind of end up in a. You can do it so it adds a bit of theme
Yeah,
to armies, but I think what you might end up trying to create.
yes,
It
it would never actually be as good.
Yeah, like a Templar's equivalent unit.
Yeah.
For instance, is you've just come up in like a weird halfway house.
Yeah,
Mind you, yeah, because I think Templars probably work out better. They've got 2. It's probably work out the same as Bat Templars. So probably not a great example. Now I
Yeah.
think. Now I look at
There-
the stats.
there
so
are-
you can
there
take
are,
you can take 6 additional guys.
So have a unit of 9 max.
A unit
Yeah,
of 9 that would
Because-
give you.
because you'll have a space for the boss to go and the Rhino.
Well, the thing is, Rhinos are
And these-
12
and
now,
these-
aren't they?
These all, yes, and they also all come with their
Oh, and the
traditional.
apothecary.
Yeah, and the apothecary.
Yeah,
and the centurion.
Yeah,
Um,
and they all come with that.
Just look at the
The what I'm looking for in the free varieties: Tartarus, and Cataphractae, as well as power armor.
So the power armor is plus 18 a model. And that gives you a 2+ save, weapon skill 5,
Mhm.
which is better
Useful.
than a veteran.
Well, these are
But these are the.
aren't
But these
they?
are these are
Yeah.
these are
The-
the ones that veterans look up to.
And
going,
of course,
right,
bear in mind, they're also another little handy thing here. They become chosen warriors, which again, if you're going up against the likes of Fulgrim the Magnificent, that basically means that you can go, hey, Fulgrim, if he's on his own, fancy a challenge, and then just feed him your chosen warriors every turn.
Yes.
As long as you're fearless, you can just keep doing that as he's challenged out. He has to accept the challenge if he's on his own.
Don't forget, for many of them, you can take Legion specific weapons as well. So I know it's a
Mm.
little expensive, but the suzerain axe.
I think only characters can take that.
Oh, is
Or
it?
independent? Yeah, and these aren't characters;
Oh,
they're
right,
chosen
okay.
warriors. So yeah, good shout, but unfortunately not.
Oh, you've got the Phoenix things in Emperor's Children as well, and
Yeah, and you've got the
Yeah.
ones from the
For the Dark
World
Ages
Eaters ones are really good.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got those rending 4+ swords, haven't they?
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
all in all, I've never seen a Terminator command squad. I don't think recently. In fact, and I ran my own kind of power armor or artist for armor versions, but
the
don't remember
difficulty with a Terminator command squad is the lack of an easy option for a Terminator with the banner.
I think also
no, you can get the banner, don't they?
Yes, they have the banner, but
There's not a model.
Model-wise.
modeling-wise, it can be a bit difficult. There are things out there, but I don't think there is actually a... I'm just trying to think. Is there a single Terminator model that you can actually go out and buy today?
From Games
without-
Workshop, no.
Yeah, no, I don't think there is.
I've had
So I
to
think that's
go
what a
and
lot of
buy the
people-
banners from where did I get them from? Cromlech, not Cromlech. It might be Andor or something like that. But I bought a load of banners basically,
Yeah, but
and then just snip the hands off and put the banners on for that very
yes,
purpose.
you do have that kind of an issue there. So I
that's a good point,
suspect
actually.
one day we might get an upgrade frame for the Terminator squads.
I mean, you can always stick something on the top of them. It's not.
Oh yeah, you can always go with the sort of Vexelia back banner option
Yeah.
that people seem to hate.
Yeah,
Hate is going to hate.
Me.
You included. What was I going to say? I think also the thing with Terminator Command Squads, as Mr. B points out, is a lot of armies have got specialist
Yeah.
Terminator Squads, like the Justarian, like the Death Shroud, or whatever the other one.
Death Shroud. Who else can we take in? The Invictus, the
Caesarian,
Phoenix,
you can
the
Phoenix
Phoenix
Terminators. Yeah.
There are.
I think the Abyss have got a couple they can take actually, haven't they?
Well, they've got that.
They've got the Terminators.
The
with
Huskals.
yeah,
and-
Huskals. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's lots of Terminator options of doing it without it being a Terminator.
Yeah, makes sense. It's okay, cool. Yeah, and the only possible advantage is doing it on the cheap to give you another scoring unit by using the banner.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think a normal non-Terminator version might be is actually probably worth it if
It is
they
coming.
haven't
Yeah,
got a squad that
I
you
said
want to.
it is coming. It is coming.
Okay, cool. All right, that's Command Squads then.
Okay. The next one's a bit of a funny one, isn't it, Chris?
Mr. B, you threw me here. You threw me with your cheeky ways. A Damocles Command Rhino.
It's a
Yeah.
HQ choice.
It is an HQ choice, absolutely. It cannot command your battlefield, though. Just going to point that out. Niche unit suitable for very specific army builds and strategies. It's not a must-have in every scenario, but can find a place in the list where its unique benefits align with the overall game plan, says Mr. B. It now has a transport capacity, doesn't it? I think as well, or it got
It got
Faces.
retcon with one. It used to have one in the old edition.
It's always had a capacity of 6, but I
Yeah.
think it's who can actually take it now or use it as
I
dedicated.
know it has infantry transport as a special
Okay,
rule,
yeah.
which it didn't have.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here's the thing, right?
Used to be a
Dam-
dedicated
dam-
transport for Master of Signals.
Damocles Commands is not as good as a Master of Signals,
Is it?
and a
And
Master of
it's
Signals
not
is
cheaper
cheaper.
either, isn't it?
Let's have a quick look at what it's got.
What is a geolocator?
Yeah, and a Vox,
before, and I can never.
and a Vox disruptor array. Both two things, Mr. B, that you probably should have mentioned in your notes so that we didn't have to look
Did I
them up.
not mention them? Oh,
No.
typical.
Yeah,
You've got the
geolocator.
you got the
Yeah.
it's the reserves. It basically lets
Yeah.
you reroll reserves, doesn't it?
Does it though?
Does exactly that. As long as a model with this special rule is deployed on the battlefield, the controlling player may choose to re-roll all failed reserve rolls
Yeah.
they make. The problem with that is that's one turn effectively for most of the ways you deploy reserves these days.
Yeah, you're absolutely right because they all
If
come
you're
in
taking
at the same time.
if you're taking a 150 point model to enable that re-roll, that seems
Drop pod assault isn't all in the one turn though, is it? Still, it's still it's still is
Yeah,
it still
no,
half?
they automatically come in on the first turn, then you roll for reserve on the second turn onwards.
No, it's half coming in the first turn, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still see what I mean. You still,
Yeah.
but then everything else would come in at the same
deep
time.
strike assault, everything turns up the same turn.
Maybe you're right,
Uh,
Mr. B. But I don't. And the thing is, you can do the same thing with the Master Signals, re-roll reserve rolls, and the Master Signals will also knack other people's deep strikes.
Yeah. It's also got a bit of a bubble for
Has it got?
for leadership. It's like an
had-
18-inch leadership bubble.
Has it got a Vox disruptor array?
It has. I'm looking. What's
So
the
that
rules for that?
so that basically means
That's same as the Master Signals.
any attempt to perform a deep strike assault, drop
Yeah,
pod
yeah.
assault, or aerodynamic drop or subterranean assault is disordered on the roll of a 1, 2, or 3.
That's what
instead
same
of
as the
a
Master
1.
Signals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as the Master Signals, then basically.
Yeah.
But you can't. I think the Master Signals you can use his leadership, can't you, as well, across the army.
This
But yeah.
allows you to use a leadership. Its leadership
What
within
is that?
18 inches.
Is that the command Vox relay?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the equipment that does that.
Okay. All
Aaron
right.
look something on this very quickly.
I mean, we used to use them all the time, right? Because I remember them being pretty. They also had an orbital strike. In the
Yes,
last
they did.
edition,
They did.
It's
that they could call
so
in.
models that are within 18 inches or that include a model with Nuncio Vox may use the embarked model's leadership characteristic for morale checks and pinning tests.
Okay.
So you've got to have a
Something inside it
Praetor or a Centurion inside it to
get the benefits.
benefit, and every other unit in the army's got to have a Vox.
Not so
So they-
Vox 10.
And if they're outside of 18 inches,
Yeah. I
The
don't think
problem
they're
is,
worth
I
it,
think
to
they've
be honest.
I don't
nerfed.
think they're
I
worth
think
it.
they've nerfed it so much, losing that orbital bombardment. It's no longer a dedicated. I don't think it's a dedicated transport choice for the Master of Signal anymore. So it absolutely.
I think it's a dedicated transport for the battle, for the not the Forge Lord, the other one, Battlesmith guy.
Tech
I
Marine.
think they can take them. Yeah, I think Tech Marines can take them as dedicated transports. But I think there's something in the FAQ,
Oh, it
isn't there? Some business. Okay.
For 175 points when you get to the Vox Disruptor array, I don't think it's worth it.
It's certainly not worth it. Not when
I
you can do
agree.
the same for 90 points.
And it just
95
shaped. It
points
was
for
kind of a cool.
Master Signal.
kind
If
of
you're
a
playing
cool-
a thematically all tank list, sure, but or a
Yeah.
mostly armored list, then it makes sense. But I just don't. For 150 points, as Graham says, take
Master,
console.
Master of Signals in a Rhino and it's cheaper.
Yeah,
It's just
I've
a
done
bit
it
of
for
a
the same
shame.
thing.
So it used to be really cool as a little unit to take along,
Used to have them
especially-
all the time, yeah.
especially with that orbital strike.
Yep, they were kind of like an extra little, because you could take the Master Signals and this and get 2 orbital strikes.
What was good, gents?
What was good is now no longer. It sounds like that should be like our house motto. If
I
we were
don't
going
think
to have
I don't think that's a branding we want. I'm just going to
Well,
put it out there.
yeah.
What once was
agreed.
good is no
But I
longer.
I think
Doesn't
with
want to be
this-
the Age of
Do you know what I mean?
Empire
It
brand.
sounds like the sort of thing you'd get in Game of Thrones. You know,
Yeah.
the House Edge of Empire. You know,
Yeah, what
winter
was
is
good
coming. What was once good is now terrible.
is now shit. Yeah,
But that
People
could
are
be
going,
because we're
there's nodding heads at home. I can sense
yeah,
it.
well, particularly after Popmaster earlier.
Set your face.
I think
You come to me with something like that.
I
Yeah,
won't. It's too good.
I
It's too
honestly
good.
think the problem with this is it doesn't know what they don't know what they want it to do. What is its job? They haven't given it a job. But
I mean,
that's
yeah,
unique
it's
and stands out.
It
Yeah,
either
you're
needs
right.
to be half the points or it needs to be
Yeah,
more
something else.
useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've sort of, we've got this unit. It still exists. People have the model. We're going to release a resin upgrade kit for it. Let's give it some moves. And it feels like they did this in the pub on a Friday night on the back of the mat.
Yeah.
And then
I think
Yeah.
someone at HQ just got tired of being audible bombarded. That's what it was. Like that.
somebody had a bad day one time.
Yeah. Someone lost a really
yeah,
important squad.
it just feels like it's a model that needs that hasn't had that proper think through of what is its job. Because
What it needs is rotating arms at the side, doing with thunder hammers. That's what it needs. Just
It needs to
like
be
a
dread.
Like, I mean,
like
if
a
it was-
robot wars
Yeah.
kind of.
what I think would cool would be if it was a dedicated transport for the Master of Signals and it allowed the Master of Signal to use his abilities, his what you call it, the that gives him +1 across
leadership. Yeah.
across multiple squads. Well, only one squad at a time, but it meant he didn't have to be embedded with a particular squad for them to get the benefit of his stuff. But that's just me
Okay.
thinking out loud. Anyway, right.
So what's transport capacity 6?
So basically, a crate or a
That's
command squad.
bloke in
Basically.
it, really, aren't you? Yeah.
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 Or a 5-man Meltagon squad, maybe.
All right.
For 150 points.
Yes.
For a-
We
for a-
did the
for
same
a
with the-
rhino.
Same with the Rhino, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
All right, Legion Centurions, the real meat and potatoes of the HQ section. These are the junior officers. They've usually taken as consuls, that is specialists with unique and valuable roles, and they all have distinctive abilities. Don't forget, you can take that plain vanilla Centurion, but we don't see it very often outside of specific situations, like the Dark Angels Right of War that has Centurions embedded within tactical squads.
I thought that was Space Wolves.
No, Dark Angels. They have
Dark Angels,
they
yeah.
can take a one. They've
Yeah,
got
they
the
can.
Stormwind
Yeah.
Right of War lets them embed
Yes, it does.
basic Centurions in big tactical squads.
It totally does. My bad. I got that wrong.
Still really powerful. It's really powerful right of all with those Centurions. It's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the stat line for a Centurion, right?
Yeah.
So normal movement. This is a non-Terminator version. Weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5.
They come in all three versions.
Yeah, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 3. So wounds 2 Centurions, normal Centurion. So one less than the Praetor. Initiative 5, which is good. 3 attacks base, leadership 9, so one less than a Praetor. 2+, but they come with a 5+, because they got refractor field, not a iron halo. So pretty good. 2 wounds can be problematic. They're not super resilient.
Yeah.
No, they are not.
And the lack of better invuln save doesn't mean you don't want to be tanking too many wounds on them and hoping that you can, invulnerable save your way out.
Nothing of major firepower.
Yeah, basically.
It's a basic vanilla HQ unit, and most people are not going to touch it. That vanilla version, unless you need to. It's all about the consoles.
Yeah, I mean their options. The base options are pretty good. Weapon types similar to the the Praetor. They just can't take Paragon blades, I think.
No,
everything else is kind of covered. But they're slightly limited, slightly cut down version of those things. But ultimately, most bases are covered in there. 2 lightning claws as well. Putting them on there does give them a fairly hefty number of attacks, which I don't think you can do with a Praetor.
Let's have a look. Just give me 2 seconds.
They can take 2 lightning claws.
2 lightning claws, yeah. So
that would make pretty good reading.
Yeah.
Use 6 attacks actually.
maybe 3 though.
Well, yeah, rending. I mean, they are rending 6s, but yeah, fishing for 6s is never going to happen.
Yeah. Whereas you could take Paragon blades, you'd use an attack.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
on their Todd, without an upgrade, you will rarely see them. They're probably more something you will put in if, for example, you have a limited number of points and you have a right or rule or something that says you've got to take, an extra HQ.
Like a 750-point game or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect. But even then, you might necessarily upgrade to a different type of console, a different upgrade.
Okay. Talking of upgrades, the real strength, though, of the Centurions is the ability to make some of them into console types, or at least different types of console types, depending on the armor.
Yeah.
So the points cost varies depending on the thing.
I'm just going to go through and add it in just so we know.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, yeah, that was a good idea. That would have been good.
It's going to be super useful. They all have obviously the same stat line. Some of the console types do add things like the Centurion does give you +1. The Chaplain, rather, keep calling them Centurion. The Chaplain gives you +1 leadership, for example, making them leadership 10. But yeah, if we start from the kind of the top, I suppose, the Librarian, Mr. B.
Librarian. The Psyker.
45 points, yeah.
Psyker for most legions, coming at a big cost. We think it's worthwhile. Now, I think it's not really worth going to discuss all the different psychic disciplines that are offered. I think that's something we'll do in a future episode. But as a unit, I mean, psychic powers are still fairly helpful. So it's not exactly a...
They're a lot less stressful these days.
Yes, they are. They are. They're not as bad as they used to be. I think back in the day, they could be a bit...
There was a big force multiplier. I mean, they still are. I've never used they can do the telepathy thing where they pin everything. So they can be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, they weren't. I mean, what was it? You used to be able to basically give yourself rerolls, didn't you?
But these days, most of the powers are. It has a shooting effect. It has a buffing effect, and it has a standard effect for that particular power block.
To be honest, right across Games Workshop range, they've really simplified magic/psychic powers in pretty much all the games. So
they still can be quite a force multiplier, though. I think,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, some of
some of them are better than others, aren't they? Some of the psychic
yeah.
powers.
I mean, some of the Thousand Suns ones where you could ignore difficult terrain and just go on a little merry old time.
Yeah,
Super useful.
agreed. Okay. Chris next. Oh yes.
Bear, you'll have to do it because I'm adding in. I'm
Okay,
going
so
through the list. So
next out of bag is the somewhat esoterist.
Yes.
Specialist librarians with the intriguing ability, according to Mr. B, to summon or banish demons. So we know demons can be tough, as we've talked about it quite in some
Mhm.
depth. But the unit isn't limited to traitors. So Ultramarine supported by plague barriers. Anyone? No. Don't do it, kids. Please. And I know there's like, oh well,
use the
we can.
use the weapon of the enemy against them.
No, don't, because
But that was kind of like the point of the heresy.
Is there actually any? Is there any in the literature ever anywhere where a loyalist unit has summoned demons?
I'm just trying to think.
I think the answer is no.
I don't think they have. No, but it's implied.
I rest my
within
case.
It's implied within the game books that actually they do.
Yeah, actually, there is one, but it's 40k, which is the Exorcists Legion. They summon demons and bound them to themselves, and then get them exercised, and it gives them power over them. But yeah, I think I would be it would very much raise my eyebrows if somebody had a loyalist legion. I mean, I get upset enough, when people use librarians with the Imperial Fists, because they weren't, there was a very clear thing that even I, a limited law person that I am, know that was a no-no. But yeah. And Death Guard as well, actually.
They were locked up until
Death Guard happened. Had the same thing, didn't they? Because old Matey Boy hated them.
Yeah.
Yes, unless they were with Typhon, in which case Typhon was like, "Yeah, use your powers."
Okay.
Fill your boosters. Depending on what the army is, and as I say, I had an idea. I'm probably the only person that's idea of an Imperial Fist army that basically got so effed by the war that they basically went, right, we need to utilize every tool we have. Jeff over there can, tell what card I'm going to pull out of the hat. So let's use him. And
it's a long way from card pulling out of hat to summoning the foot soldiers of hat.
It's card out of hat, then it's bunny out of hat, and then it's blood letter out of hat, and then it's bloodthirster. That's how it goes. Just
to be fair, I think
Magic Eye.
Most players don't do that, but point is, it is an option if you wanted to create a Dark Angels that have been slightly cut off, and they're like, oh wait, have you seen we can do all this magic stuff and bring out these monster things? But they can be useful.
But them using psychic powers is referenced in the books.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense for some legions than others. But that's more of a librarian thing as opposed to an esoterist thing. And esoterists are all about.
So yeah,
that is the specific job of esoterists. They like to.
What about banish demons? That seems like a useful skill.
Yeah. It's just, again, the esoterists don't just demonology doesn't just do summoning; it also does banishing. So you might have that noble specialist who's like, oh, I've been touched by the war. I can, that makes it sound worse there. But it's bad. It's like, oh, now I'm able to see these to get rid of these weird Xenos things that keep popping up.
Okay.
The whole Xenos thing, I think, in the heresy has been fairly. Everyone knows what they are. Everyone knows that.
By this point, I think they've got a pretty good idea what they are.
They know what they are.
Okay.
But hang on, Jeff. They're not Xenos. They're actual demons, mate. Yeah. I mean, look at that one. It's got horns and the sulfur around it.
It's whispering to me in my mother's voice. How's that happening? It's because it's an actual demon and not an alien from another planet. Yeah, get with it, lads. Come on, stupid space marine.
Yeah, so their psychic ability seal the veil. They can basically target a unit composed entirely of models with a demon unit type or corrupted unit subtype.
I think the crack is if your local meta is demon heavy, you're probably going to want one of these. It's meta dependent.
Oh yes and no. I think it'd be interesting to see how many demon armies we get to see when we go away for the weekend in April, because I think there may be people.
The web way.
Yeah, we're you know, I think now that they're out and about, but actually even corrupted units. So we talked about the corrupted knights and the corrupted.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
All of those would come under that. So yeah, they must reduce their strength and toughness by 1 to a minimum of 1 to the end of the next phase. The controlling player of the psyche using this power then choose to make a psychic check. For the psyche, the check is passed. The target unit also suffers perils of the warp.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's pretty good.
I still personally think that the usage of this particular unit is going to depend on, local meta, what type of games you are more likely to face. It'll be like the whole, when Chris plays Adam, he knows he plays Death Guard. He's going to take stuff that is anti-Death Guard.
Yeah,
and his army
not worked so far.
But you know what I mean. Your army writing might sort of become specifically anti-Death Guard, if that makes any sense.
My roleplay writing has become strictly anti-Adam. That's what's happened.
Yeah, still taking it in some other way.
And then when you head to an event, you might find yourself at a slight disadvantage because you built your list for dealing with Death Guard.
No, I find myself at a slight disadvantage because I play an army that has got one job and doesn't do anything else other than stab stuff.
True.
But that's another story for another time. Anyway.
Okay,
all right.
So East Terrorist definitely got its place and could make interesting balance against demons.
Again, though, when you're writing your list, are you ever going to think, shall I take 75 points of an HQ choice on the off chance in an HQ slot, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think, like Mr. B says, it's not hugely expensive. I mean, base point 75.
Out of most of these,
off chance.
He is on the very much the cheaper. I think the Pathfinder is cheaper.
Yeah.
And
so
who's ever seen one of them in the wild?
Oh yeah, sorry. Seal the Veil is only available if you're a East Terrorist and you're a loyalist.
Yeah.
If you're a traitor, then you get Breach the Veil.
That's
power, which I think is the summoning one. So your Ultramarines can deal with Mr. B.
Damn it! I misread it. Okay, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, we were going to get all sorts of trouble. People writing in, what have you? You want to sack your AI chatbot that you've got?
No, that was me reading it. That was me reading it.
Okay, cool. Next one then.
I don't use AI to write this just to help me put my grammar right.
We know the things. Do you want me to do this one? So
yeah.
Okay, so Master of Signals. Real force multiplier, as the kids say. He is 35 points.
As the kids say, is absolutely slaps. Apparently.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, whatever that means. Slaps what? Slaps.
Yeah.
Slaps
the thigh and sort of pantos sort of.
I'm slap.
By Jove.
Apparently, it slap means it's good.
Yeah, this is why the kids are out of control these days. That's
Okay, for real force multiplier, go on in.
I guess they're thinking of the old happy slapping, or is that not a thing anymore?
I sincerely hope not, but yeah, whatever. Go on, keep moving.
Benefits to reserve roles, extending the leadership to units for morale and pinning. Thanks.
When you say benefits, what do you? It needs to be slightly more specific, Mr. B.
I'm trying to find the things.
Okay, don't worry.
I've jumped around to too many.
You guys said you were going to have your rules out and just be talking about this rather than just using my notes.
I am there. I've just had to jump backwards and forwards on about 4 different PDFs trying to find something. So everything's all over the place. Right. Once per turn, when any friendly unit is called upon to make a morale check or a pain check, that check can be made using the leadership characteristic of this model, or any other model in the same unit as this model with this special rule. Yeah. In addition, as long as the model of the special rules on the battlefield, then all reserve rolls made by the controlled player may be re-rolled.
So he would only be 95 points and he's already better.
Yeah.
And he's also got
Cognitive Signum.
He's got Cognitive Signum, which
Vox Disruptor Array.
Vox Disruptor Array, which we talked about.
And was 25 points more expensive on the rubbishy tank.
He's got an Augury Scanner and a Nuncio Box. So if you just totaled up the war gear, right? The Vox Disruptor Array, Augury Scanner 10 points. Nuncio Box 10 points. So that's 20 points already that you're getting for free, basically. And the
Vox Disruptor Array is 25 points.
Yeah. The Cognitive Signum is super useful, right? And for the points that you've made. put it with your 10-man las cannon squad. He doesn't shoot. He boosts their ballistic by +1. He also gives them night fighting, which is 2 really great advantages. First of all, you don't take the penalty for being over 24, even though you can see them like you do with the augury scanner. And secondly, you can't take shrouded saves if you've got night vision. So if you shoot something with your 10-man las cannon squad, and the person goes, "I'm going to evade," they can't, because the Cognos Signum gives you night vision.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic upgrade. I mean, superb upgrade, I think.
And also having that ability to basically make a reserve roll a 50-50 chance of it going wrong.
Yeah.
And then the augury scanner to,
Well, yeah, here's the
whatever
thing,
does
right?
turn up.
When I have looked at this, because I used to have to, because one of the rights of war for the Reaver's right of war means you have to take a Master of Signals. You only roll the dice for disorganized after the first unit's placed.
Yeah.
So the first unit comes down kind of where it needs to be, but it's the things after that that may get screwed up.
Yeah.
But even so, 50-50, like you say, again, going, actually, no, you're not coming on, or B, you
I'm
can
gonna
deploy
place them.
all the way over there, out the way, kind of thing. So I think he's a great upgrade. There was an argument that people said about the Cognos Signum about making a Tech Marine and giving the Tech Marine the upgrade for the Cognos Signum, which is 35 points. But he doesn't come with the augury scanner or the Nuncio box. So all in all, he's an absolute bargain.
Cheapest chips for what he gets.
One of the best HQs you can get.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say before we look at anything else, I think he is the best console upgrade.
I'm not so sure. I'm going to go with. I don't think he is. He's good, but he's not that good.
He's up there.
Yeah,
he's not top of the tower for me.
Me neither.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'll explain why. Actually, there's two others that I would lean on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, the champion, 35 points, but you get a Paragon Blade and Weapon Skill 6.
Yeah.
He's basically a melee combatant that's just sort of below the Praetor. And he's pretty comparable because that never backs down rule gives him a nice bonus plus a little penalty. But he's obliged to accept and issue challenges, which can be an issue in certain situations, but it gives fearless to him and the unit for every combat where a challenge is issued.
Yep.
And it's a great advantage, and it basically can turn any unit he's with into a tar pit, because I have seen 20 Marine squads of despoilers or tacticals with a champion that can absolutely hold off those crucial stuff that you want to be stopping. They're absolutely fantastic as a unit. One of the good ones.
I think the problem with having to accept the challenge or issue the challenge is that you are going to get chosen warriored out of the game. So it's never going to set the world alight, because I'm just going to go, here, have a chosen warrior, and you can use your Paragon Blade on him while I kill the rest of the squad and then kill you.
Yeah.
With my...
the problem also is he's only got 2 wounds. He's only got a 5-up invulnerable save.
Yep.
Yes, his weapon skill 6, so he's going to be hitting most things on 3s. There. Paragon Blade doing it initiative, but as soon as someone comes back at him,
he's done. He's a class cannon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got it. And if he wants to kill something, he's got to kill them before they.
And if he dies in the challenge, right? Yeah, exactly. If he dies in the challenge, then they lose that fearless, and then your tar pit's in bits. But yes, it's not a bad tactic to be. I've got to say, cheaper. I mean,
he's
200 point. Go on.
Someone I would take as part of a
Death Star.
Death Star. Yeah.
Yes, for want of a better word.
For want of a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm an Imperial Fist player, I'm taking him and Sigismund, and I'm running them together. And then they can just choose who wants to go into a challenge, and they can decide between them. Because in that situation, you can have the champion do the challenge, and I don't think Sigismund overrides the thing. So I think Sigismund can just murder the rest of the squad. I'll have to double check on Sigismund in a second. But yeah, definitely he's a Death Star guy as opposed to riding solo as a force multiplier guy.
Gotcha.
A support character, not a leader.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. He's the champion. Isn't actually he's just a guy that the Legion put up as being the best example of them in stabbing and punching face.
Yep.
You want to take the next one, Chris?
Forge Lord. Man, try to find Forge Lord in weird order. There we go. Right. Forge Lord is a Tech Marine Plus with the bonus of being able to bring along Legion. Or is that actually the plural of that? Thalaxes?
I believe it is.
So Thalax cohorts. Yeah. They are the normal shooty guys, aren't they? Just trying to think back to Mechanicum.
Yeah. The jumpy
Dalliance.
shooty guys.
Yeah, jumpy shooty guys. He gets Battlesmith 4+, Master Automata, and Legion's Thaxis special rules. He can take up to 3 units of Thalaxis cohorts as non-compulsory elite choices and the same detachment as the model. They must set dedicated transports, and any models in a Thalaxis cohort, which are included in the army due to the special rule, gains the same Legion of Astartes rule as the Legion Forge Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about some of the weapons and whether they've got Imperial 50 +2 nonsense.
Because they're not bolt weapons. They're lightning guns.
They're
and lightning guns.
Yeah, I really don't know why we don't see these guys more often.
I do.
Why?
Because no,
Thalaxi. They're good.
I'll tell you why you don't see more of them, and it's called heavy bolters.
And
4+ save. I mean, yes, they've got 3 wounds.
Yeah,
but the guns are really short range.
Yeah, but can't they do the jump?
They can shoot. They can move. Then they can use their boosty pad things in the movement phase. They can then shoot, and then they can use them to. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up. But if they can move, shoot, and then jump out the way again. But even so, the guns are pretty low range. You can give them photon thrusters, which are pretty good.
One in 3 can take a specialist weapon.
Yeah. But even so, they're probably quite expensive.
125 points for 3 of them.
Yeah, I think they would. They tend to get. I mean, playing Mechanicum, they tend to get minced. Chain axes and what have you will also do another lovely number on them. But they are toughness 5 and they do have 3 wounds. So
I don't. Yeah, I would personally 80 points for this guy, and the thing is that he brings more expensive stuff onto the table for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it counts as troops with them. I saw they still have the line unit.
They're compulsory elite choices, non-compulsory elite choices, so they won't get.
I suppose it's going to be.
They would get line if they had line as their unit type. You see what I mean? Yeah. So if they got the line as a rule, then they would still get that regardless of what part they are in their force org.
True.
So they could be scoring, I suppose, in that regard. That might be useful. But
they are line, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. B. You're probably being quite right. I mean, I think most people tend to take them more for the fact. I think if you take the Forge Lord with Automata, you've got to give them a what's the thing?
Photon thruster.
No, the kind of communication thing. I can't remember what it's called.
Cortex.
Oh, Cortex controller. 15 points.
Do you not come with it automatically?
I don't think he does. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong.
No, it does. No, it doesn't get it as a.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
But I also think his Battlesmith rule is pretty good, so he can fix vehicles. But most of the time, vehicles get just done over.
So he can take a machinator. So he gets the machinator array.
Okay, so that's +2 to his Battlesmith roll. That's like a 2+. No, sorry, 4+.
He's got a 4+ anyway because he's got the machinator.
Battlesmith. Yeah. Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
No, I think it's normally it's 5 with it might be 6 with the thing, 4 with the. But if he's got Battlesmith 4+, then it would be Battlesmith 2+ with the machinator array.
Okay.
He gets Cortex Control 15 points, so he can't take both these things. A Cyber Familiar 15 points.
Yeah, giving him a 3+.
Nah, I just don't. For me,
I think he's more themey than.
For me, point sync.
Yep.
because you're going to want to give him a 15-point upgrade, and you're going to be taking him because you want to bring probably 1 or 2 units of. So you're looking at 400 points for an HQ choice, basically.
Yeah.
And I just think that's, for a guy that's not rolling around as a Spartan, that's a lot of points.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I don't see many of them. I'm not hugely impressed.
Battlesmith, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
problem
think
with
even if
Battlesmith is
he's got
It's a
that
cool rule,
bonus,
but it's just never.
You've got to
even
get
though
close to a tank to do it.
Yeah.
even though he's got that nice bonus, if I want Battlesmith, if I really need Battlesmith, I think I'd rather take a Tech
Free.
Marine.
Yeah, and not take up an HQ choice.
Yeah.
But
Makes
again,
sense.
it depends on theme.
Mhm.
But I really think the only reason you want to take him is because you want the Phylaxi.
There might be. I mean, I can't remember if
Yeah.
there are some rights of war that require a Forge Lord. Does the Dreadnought one require, or is that a Mortificator?
Actually, I don't know. I think it does need the
It used to. You had to take a
Forge Lord and a
Primus
Primus Medicae.
Yeah, but you don't anymore. I don't think.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
Yes.
what
talking
about the
of
Primus Medicae?
Yeah. Functioning as an amped up Apoca 3, according to Mr. B, with the distinct advantage of being an independent character, which is a distinct advantage. This characteristic enables the Primus Medicae to join units that would typically be ineligible for the Apoca 3, which is primarily talking about Terminator squads.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously with the normal Apoca 3, there's a list of things that it can join, which is normal kind of infantry squads. With the Primus Medicae, you can chuck him into anything. And, yeah, awesome times. So,
you're 6 up.
yeah, so he's super useful if you want to give your Terminator squad Field of Pain.
Mhm.
Again, does get a bit cheeky that you're into Death Star territory. Particularly if you're going to chuck him in with your Tartarus Terminators with 3+ invons and then a 5+ Field of Pain, which is perfectly reasonable, but quite naughty.
Yeah. Someone might raise perhaps one eyebrow.
I think, one eyebrow, and then you'd probably have something with him like a Primarch, for example.
Yeah.
But they don't
Primarch don't get any benefit.
They don't get any benefit from it because of it. It only affects the.
But the Primarch will smash the face out of anything.
Yeah.
The Terminators will finish it up, and then you're not going to have a lot of fun getting anything.
It's also got the Sacred Trust rule, providing rerolls on it will not die. Only applies to infantry and cavalry again. So infantry things with it will not die. Not too many. I think salamanders get it, but yeah. So yeah, if you want to extend the life of your hard as nails Terminator squad, throw this guy in.
Mm-hmm.
But again, and you can give him Terminator armor.
Okay, so animals, infantry or cavalry unit type in the same as well as a special rule.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
No, Primarchs are different.
Do they have?
They're the Primarch type, not the infantry type.
Well, wasn't that the whole argument of the Khan a while back?
No,
it was because he was cavalry. Yeah, because of the bike.
He becomes cavalry.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, and I think that
can't remember.
Yeah.
Can't remember all the arguments ever said.
I don't think that's been answered.
That's not been answered in the FAQ. You're absolutely right. But yeah,
don't bring it up.
Yeah, now we're going to bring it up.
I suppose it's because there isn't. I suppose the reason they haven't answered it is because there isn't a model they sell of the Khan on a bike.
That's true.
Yeah,
but I reckon they will. Well, as soon as they do Khan on a bike, we'll get an answer to that one. That's what I reckon.
Okay,
he comes out on his BMX.
Yeah, woohoo! Doing some
popping a wheelie
moves. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of endos, Mr. B.
Oh,
you're next out the bag.
Cheers. The Siege Breaker, 45 points on one of the more expensive ones. He's a supported character that you've got some units next to him. They can get some decent advantages there. So a unit within 6 inches of him gets Sunder. So you've got your artillery, your heavy vehicles, and heavy support squads. If they don't have Sunder, they can now have Sunder. So I'm thinking, what heavy support weapons have got Sunder?
Sundercats.
So the only things that haven't got Sunder are Strength 6.
Yeah.
Which seems somewhat pointless because you're not really going to try a Strength 6 weapon at
but
anything that you're going to be able to get through because the front armor of most vehicles is 13.
But you also get on artillery
Anything
as well.
with rending though?
Sorry.
Rending with Sunder as a
Yeah, they talked about this. This is quite an interesting one. Actually, it was dealt with in the FAQ because people were kind of cheesing it. Sunder doesn't give you a reroll on your rending. You know, in rending, if you roll a 6, you get a D3 on top of that.
Okay.
People were going, okay, I've got Sunder, so I reroll armor pen. So I'll reroll my armor pen, and then I'll reroll the roll that I get for rending. But you don't.
Get the book.
Oh no, I wouldn't re-roll the rending, but I would re-roll
just
first roll
Ah,
because trying to get that 6 or 5 every either.
Yeah.
I hate that these
Right.
books are all over the place. But
Sunder special. I'm trying to think what tanks you would give that to.
That's
They don't already have it because las cannons
Um,
have already got it. Actually, I suppose melter guns don't have it.
Scorpius. Did the Scorpius have it? No, well, it's not in the bloody universe. It's in. So maybe the Scorpius.
I mean, melter guns is another one. You could
Is it
park in next to it.
Is it artillery? No,
No,
it's
you
not
could-
artillery.
Is it? Was it just friendly? Let's have a quick look at this rule. Art disruption.
It's one friendly unit.
Friendly
Oh
unit.
yeah,
so
one friendly. Okay, yeah, Scorpius. You give the Scorpius. The
Sunder?
Scorpius
It would-
Sunder. It doesn't have Sunder. No, it doesn't have Sunder.
You could
It's
also
strength
use
8s. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Why?
the melter gun version of on the Predators, and the
Yep.
same with the melter gun version of the Kratos.
Yeah, you've also got the Arquiters as well. Some of them might not necessarily have it.
Yeah, I don't know what the strength of that is.
It's the
Arquitous Bombard, isn't it?
Morbius thing or whatever it's called.
Why are we
That's-
only applying this to tanks? Just out of interest.
That's just as an example.
I think-
Tanks should be great for it, but
I
you've also
think-
got.
Also,
what have
cannons
you-
already have Sunder.
Do they?
Well, I was just thinking
Could be
about
talking out the bottom.
a melter specialist weapon squad with
Oh,
then
yeah,
having
yeah,
armor
definitely.
bane and Sunder.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
armor
cannon
vanes.
does not have Sunder.
Oh,
It's a
does it?
strength 7 Sunder rending 6+.
Yeah, that's not bad. But yeah, I see what you mean, Chris. Melter gun squad with Sunder. The thing is,
Goodbye. Anything?
well, yes and no. I mean, I guess which dice do you re-roll with Sunder? Because you have to.
You reroll your armor pen roll.
But if you've got armor bane, you roll 2 dice for armor pen.
Anyway,
So I don't know whether you re-roll both or one.
He's-
I would say you reroll
Yeah,
both because it's your roll, it's your armor penetration roll, isn't it? So
He's
Yeah,
also got
Sunder roll.
he's also got Phosphex bombs and an Nuncio box.
Right.
So might not want to go too close to him. And you put him next to you've got the there's the Phosphex shells, not the quad mortars that got. Has that got
just
Sunder?
very quick, so Sunder is attached to the special rule. Maybe roll failed armor penetration rolls, not
Okay,
dice.
cool.
So
Nice.
you could do it on
But Yeah, I guess the thing
armor
is he worth it for that one thing?
Oh yeah,
'Cause
no.
You could get a 10-man las cannon squad, and the las cannons have got Sunder for free.
Again, it depends what you're putting him with.
I don't think I've ever seen a Forge Lord. I don't think I mean, you used to
Not
get
in
them
this
quite-
edition. Not in
They
this.
used to give. Yeah, I suppose they still do.
I saw them quite a
but
lot
it's
in the old.
somewhat because you didn't have Sunder on las cannons, so you'd put in with your Iron Havoc squad, for example, to give them re-rolls
Yeah.
to armor pen, because he had Tank Hunter, which was the old rule. But yeah, I think now because las cannons have Sunder, he's somewhat lessened in his usefulness.
I was just having a look at something.
I
hate
So you can
that.
give rapiers, Phosphex, you can give Arctor, Morbius, Bombard, Phosphex shells as well. Doesn't
I bet they're
give
not
it
as
to
good as they used to be.
Medusas.
Possibly.
Didn't he used to give it to Medusas as
He
well?
did, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a thing in there, isn't there? Okay.
Where's the quad the quad launcher in here? What is its missiles?
I do not know.
Cannot.
What
Look for, here we go. Artillery cannon, quad launcher.
Shatter shells. Shatter.
Yeah,
got
the
Sunder.
shot shells have got it. Incendiary don't
No.
really need it. Splinter don't need it. And they can't take Phosphex anymore.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, they can with Phosphex canister shots with the Siege Breaker.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
What's a Phosphex canister shot do?
But you know what?
I think
Doesn't
you've got
actually
the
tell you.
book.
I've got it here. Where are we? Phosphex weapons. Phosphex canister shot. Strength 12 to 24. Strength 4. AP 3. Heavy 1. Barrage. Blast. 3-inch. Poison 3+. Crawling fire. Lingering death.
So yeah.
But you don't want thunder on it. But the
That's
shells
always-
aren't too bad.
Always wounding on a 3+. It's AP3.
Yeah, I don't think the shells
terrible.
are too bad.
It's not terrible. Not terrible.
You're getting
Good as a kind of anti. What was the right? Sorry, was it 12 to 48? Did you say?
12 to 24.
Oh, okay, I was going to say they've been really good as an anti Lascallan squad.
Yeah,
because you could then drop them on the top of them, and they would, if they tank them all on their sergeant with artificer armor, they would be in trouble.
Bear in mind that the phosphex and stuff stays, and so if you've got an objective you don't want your opponent to have, shoot them with that. And
yeah, I mean, it does become dangerous, I mean, not impossible. So, but yeah, it's still a risk.
Ooh.
Okay, next out the bag is the chaplain, one of my top 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Should I talk about this one? So the console, so this is where you really buy him for. He gives your unit 2 useful things, or 3 useful things actually. First of all, hatred everything. So in the first round of combat, you're re-rolling to hit rolls, even if you're charged as well.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if you charge or are charged. He also gives stubborn, which again is super useful.
Yes, it is.
It means that you're A, don't worry about fear, and B, even if you lost all of the squad and there was only one person left, you'd still be, and it was just him, you'd still be on leadership 10 because he gives +1 to leadership. I'm pretty sure, he says optimistically.
What's this?
Sorry?
What did you say?
The chaplain,
Yeah.
leadership goes up to 10.
Yes, it does.
Chaplain increased leadership to 10. So yeah, he is super useful, and I use them a lot because I hate the fact that I roll terribly. So I have to make as many re-rolls as I humanly possibly can. So I've got a close combat unit, there will be a chaplain in it, almost guaranteed. Mr. B's talking about, 20-man despoilers, but basically I use him for things like Reavers and Caesarean.
Oh yeah, I tried to keep my notes in here super generic, like Legion specific. So
yeah, I think that's fair.
But yeah, definitely Caesarean, he's an absolute beast with.
Yeah, one thing that I used to do, which I apologise for on the previous episode that we did, he gets a mastercrafted version of a power weapon. That power weapon has to be power sword, power axe, power lance, or what's the other one? Sword, axe, lance.
Sword, lance, maul.
Maul. Yeah, he has to take one of those. No thunder hammers for you, or power fists, or lightning claws for you, my lad.
No.
Yes, they limited it in the recent FAQ, didn't they?
Yeah.
They give you a good. It's a great addition for 35 points. Now I could mind thunder hammers because they can take thunder hammers in squads that don't usually have them, even though that means they're not mastercrafted. And it does make them pretty pricey, but he's a useful unit with a thunder hammer to clobber a dreadnought.
I don't think having mastercrafted for a thunder hammer is the be end and all end.
Not really. I mean, bear in mind you're re-rolling on the first round anyway, and it only really comes into effect from there on in. But yeah, it's not the end of the day to lose that. But yeah, like I say, leadership 10, stubborn means
stubborns are super useful.
So useful. Not just particularly against people like Night Lords who will try and fear and night fighting you out of the game. So yeah, they're not going anywhere. Basically, you've got to kill everybody pretty much unless you're 11 or a 12. Which of course, now that I've said it, I'm going to next time I call on his leadership 10. But yeah, definitely in my top 3 of HQ choices.
This is the thing. So going back to an earlier point, a Tartarus Praetor or whatever, or a Tartarus squad comes up against that squad with that chaplain in it. That squad's going, okay, we lost the combat, but actually we're going to stay there, and you're trapped in that combat for another turn because we're stubborn. Doesn't matter. And
absolutely, yeah, stubborn is a super useful skill. Inexorable is not quite as good because they can still be done over by fear.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's still pretty useful. Okay. So yeah,
Still
great
definitely,
choice.
he's definitely one of the top 10s.
Can take
Probably top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, he's top 3 for me. He can take Terminator armor as well, so you can get Terminator Chaplain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
really good
Centurion, we can take Indomitus Centurions, can't we?
I don't know.
That's a good point. I don't think we can actually.
What's that?
Can we take Indomitus Centurions?
Oh,
I don't think we can. I'm just gonna look up on the. You guys keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
I'll look it up because I've got the what are they in? Legacies.
Legacies, yeah, it'll be
Right,
Legacies.
Right here. So give me 2 seconds to fiddle about.
There's a list of things that can take the type of armor, aren't there? So it's got Tartarus Centurion, for example.
It will say in his requirement that he can't take it.
Yeah, so it will actually, if you look at Tartarus Centurion, it tells you which console types can take it. So, for example, Tartarus Centurions can be Librarians, Esoterics, Champions, Forge Lords, Medicae, Siege Breakers, Chaplains, Delegatus, Heralds, and Mortificators. And the same applies to, I think, the Cataphracti, Librarian, Esoterics,
can't take Indomitus.
Herald, Mortificator, because not all Chaplains can take Terminator armor. Sorry, not all consoles can take Terminator.
Yeah, no, they haven't got the Indomitus as a Centurion in here.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Vigilator is definitely one that you cannot take Terminator armor.
No.
Take this one.
So the Vigilator, he is a number of points more than 60. Ticking around like he is the only one I didn't put the points in for some reason because
I'll tell you, just give me 2 more.
Crazy fool. But what does he give you for his extra points? Well, he gives you the Mark for Death, Master Sniper rules, and he can either scout or infiltrate. So as the Master Sniper special rule, when shooting attacks with any weapon that has the Sniper special rule or model this rule, adds the Rending 2+ and Shell Shock 1 in parentheses special rules to the attack. If the weapon already has the Rending and Shell Shock special rules, they don't stack with those provided in the special rule. Use the highest of the 2 variants for the attack.
Okay.
So Rending 2+, always going to trump any other Rending.
Mm-hmm.
Rending 2+.
Rending 2+.
Wow, actually it's better than I thought. Okay.
He gets the Mastercraft Nemesis Bolter, Melter Bombs at no additional cost. He cannot take a jet bike, a jet pack, or a normal combat bike. So he's going
35 points.
It's going on his feet. Okay, so 95 points for a guy that's doing Rending 2+.
It's only 1 shot though. That's the way I kind of look at it with them. It's like 6 shots for the whole of the game.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Snipers are meant to be
and
like that.
The thing with snipers also is that you choose where the wounds go.
Yeah.
So that's also, you can, pick out that sergeant, even, you roll to wound and then you choose where the wound goes.
Might actually be better. Just trying to think. What's the Nemesis Bolter's shtick?
So it's Rending 5+ normally. It has pinning as well.
I'm just trying to think if he's better than a normal, not a normal, but Vindicate Assassin. No, Vindicate Assassin.
I think he hasn't got the instant death.
Yeah, I was sort of wondering that in the notes. Is a Vindicator Assassin better?
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to hope so. He's more points, but he doesn't do Rending quite as easily as that. But
yeah, I mean, Rending 2+ is pretty cool. I mean, again, you can basically take out a sergeant a turn with him, but again, it's only 6 shots, so there is that.
Exorcist
maximum
6.
Yeah, I think Exorcist is better.
Yeah, Exorcist is better. Yeah.
What's better?
Actually, yeah, because Exorcist rifle is heavy one though, so.
Yeah, but I think he might have.
So yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Still not shabby for.
No, I mean.
Well, what would you take? What would you take, Chris? Would you take the Vindicare, or the Vigilator?
If I've got the points, I'll take the Vindicare, but he's an HQ he's another HQ choice, so I'm not gaining a slot out of the two of them.
Yeah.
Strength 7, AP2, Murder Strike 5+ for him.
Rending 6+.
Where it was against, because it's always going to be AP2. You're going to roll a 1. You know it, and I know it. That classic, that bit where you don't want to roll a 1, you're going to roll a 1.
He doesn't. The thing with the Vindicate also is things that would limit his range don't limit his range, basically.
Okay, so it's night fighting, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
And that March for Death also gives him, I can't remember what that rule
Shell
is.
shot.
It
takes one off. It takes one off their leadership.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Number in parentheses. So it has to make a pinning check by an attack made using weapon. The shell shot special rule suffers a -1 to the leadership characteristic when taking that check. So
okay.
And pinning is super useful because no one's reacting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Not bad. Not
bad.
Brilliant.
Not top tier for me. Very
useful
much.
It's so useful in Alpha League, but then just use Exodus.
He's a flavor choice more than anything else, I would say.
Model looks good though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Model is amazing.
Mr. B.
Pathfinder, 10 points. Your specialized scout character, tailored to operate alongside scout squads and provide leadership support to them. But who is taking scout squads?
Not me.
The trade-off for swapping artificer armor for scout armor, not great.
I'm paying more points for this guy.
But you get a really good shotgun, and the special rules aren't bad, I guess.
I'll be honest with you, Mr. B. You started that sentence with all the conviction of a man that knew that it was going nowhere. You get a really good shotgun?
I'm trying to think. The Pathfinder, I don't think... It's
10 points.
I looked at it when it was first introduced, and I was like, who's going to take this? And I haven't seen him. I've never seen a list from him. I Googled, I Reddited it, I did all the things. I could not find a single list in which someone has taken a Pathfinder.
So he gets movement 8. He gets movement 8 and he gets skirmish.
Yeah.
So
+1
he gets +1 to his charge. +1 to his charge roll, +1 to his cover save. Because he's got movement 8. So
but why would you charge him?
No, you wouldn't, but you would use it's the skirmish thing. Because he gets in terrain, he gets a better cover save, which is kind of the only thing I would.
Yeah, look, as cool as it sounds, I just don't think it's a good choice.
He needs a sniper rifle.
Yeah, but then he'd just be a vigilator. So why not make the vigilator have an option where he can take his scout armor?
Yeah, totally.
I think this character might have been all right, but he's just if he could have taken a sniper rifle. Because scout squads with sniper rifles, really good. They're the one type I would take a scout squad. But
yeah, that's a fair point.
If you could take that Nemesis bolter, you can't take Nemesis bolter, can he? Yeah, no.
He can take it as his. You
can buy it for 10 points as a.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay, fair enough. All right, now, give him a okay, maybe okay. Why have I got it in my head that he couldn't? Give him a Nemesis bolter, put him into Sniper Scouts. I think he's actually not too bad. But
not as good as the Vigilator.
Yeah.
The Vigilator is better, but the Vigilator would work well with Recon Marines in Recon armor with sniper rifles.
Yeah, but you can tanker your wounds on the Vigilator.
Well, I say Recon armor, it's power armor.
Yeah. And March for Death, by the way, you pick a unit and you can re-roll fail rules of 1 against them. Yeah. So he does.
Oh, okay.
Super useful.
I just can't. It'd be cool, but I think that no one's going to bother making one of these unless GW release a really cool looking model.
There's a reason it's a 10-point upgrade.
Yeah. Okay. Next out of bag, probably now one of the used to be very situational. The FAQ has made this top tier.
Yeah, it's gone from being really good to being almost.
I wouldn't. Yeah, go on then. Let's hear it.
It's gone from being really, really good to being.
Do you want to do this?
I think in many times must have. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. I was
okay. So the Maratak
in my head
again. the most intricate special rule in the game, whose true effectiveness emerges when integrated into a unit, with or without jump pack.
Yep.
So they unleash havoc with 2 pistol type weapons. Volkite and Disintegrators being a solid choice. I would say
Or if you're a Blood
Plasma.
Angels player, Melter.
Melter. I mean, fantastic, right?
Yep.
So it's the chain fire special rule. You fire 6 times with each pistol, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Um,
But once
Doesn't
you miss, that's it.
no, it's not, is it?
Once you miss, it's
once you
that with
miss-
that gun.
Is it? I thought it's once you miss, you just keep rolling until you rolled 6 times.
Oh, maybe it's because I always take plasma.
I think if you roll with plasma or things that get
Yeah.
hot, then it stops.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So Volkite, for example, you could, if you miss on a 1, it doesn't matter, you just roll again. Disintegrators, I think, have instant death, so that's not a good idea. I think being a very bad choice. If I'm completely truthful, you're going to probably go out in a blaze of glory. But as you mentioned, Legion alternatives for Blood Angels, Moritats, well worth looking at because they can take the sort of Melter version. So can so can Salamanders, I think. And I
Death
think
Guard with
there's
hand to L-Cam Flamers.
you can't chain fire those, can you?
Nope. But two templates with that rule isn't that bad.
No, I suppose not. The other one is the Iron Hands with the Graviton pistols,
Yes. Ooh,
which
yeah.
I had an issue with when I played against them. But Graviton pistols basically are haywiring. So if you can get your little Moritat close enough, that's 12 shots, potentially 12 haywire shots that could, take something quite interesting out of the game.
Mhm.
Like a Dreadnought, for example. So I think haywire definitely affects Dreadnoughts. So yeah, definitely things to think about there. But yeah, the other thing that is so much better now is that you can put them with any infantry squad. So they don't need to be just with spoilers, they can basically be with anything. So you give them rad grenades, as we've talked about.
No, they come with rag grenades automatically.
So they come with rad grenades.
He has rad grenades as
Yeah.
part of his war gear.
So that means that actually it's 45 points, giving him no upgrades in terms of his pistols, still pretty useful for a close combat squad because you've basically now got rad grenades, which basically brings their toughness of the model down by 1. So if you're going against marine equivalents, you're a marine equivalent, you're wounding them on 3s.
Only on the first
useful.
turn.
Yeah. And also the other thing about rad grenades, incidentally, a good counter for it if you're ever faced with them, if you force the opponent to do a disorganized charge, the rad grenades don't work.
Yes.
Where?
It's in the rules.
Is this it's in the rules the other day?
No, I actually is in the rules. So
No,
disorganized
it is in
charge,
the rules. Basically, disorganized charge, you can't use grenades.
they can't
No.
use grenades.
Oh, okay. Apart from
So-
frag grenades.
No, and I think I will double check it because now you've made me doubt myself. Thanks.
It says grenades.
I think it's actually specifically says rad grenades, but
Oh yeah, I think it does. It does mention. Yes, it does. Yes, Anthony. Was it Anthony who brought it up?
But yeah, I think so that is one way around them. But just a heads up out there. If you force them to organized charge, they don't work. But other than that, they're a great choice.
Yeah.
Can take a Phosphex grenade as well.
I don't think they can they?
They used to be able to. They've always been able to, aren't they? Double check now.
I don't think they can.
They used to be able to. They definitely can't now.
Death Guard. I'm thinking Death Guard. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Death Guard.
Yeah, super useful. Any weapon that's +2 to your strength, you're doubling people out, which is
Which I thought you didn't, but I read it wrong. So
The
heavy
thing was,
chainsaw, stuff like that.
they
So,
only used to be able to be taken with despoiler squads.
yeah, or on
That's
their
good.
own.
Sorry,
And
destroyer
they've,
squads. Destroyer squads, not
Yeah,
despoilers.
and they were decidedly vaguely useful in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, they're
But I
still
think for
useful, but
a 105 point model, and there are some special varieties of this guy of Moritats. Now that it can join different units, completely changes it up. And I think that's like someone said, I don't think they intended for them to have for all units to be able to take rad grenades. Like, well, no.
I'm just going to
But
point
they
out
wanna
that,
make this-
that FAQ dropped about the same time as the assault squad. I don't want to get all conspiratorial about it.
Just to please you, you know the Death Guard can take rad grenades with any character.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they
10
can. They
points.
can. They can take them out of the.
Yeah.
Flipping
Like-
ridiculous. If they have the
Yeah.
reaping,
Yeah, only if they're
Right.
reaping.
just to
Don't-
please you a bit, Chris.
Don't need
That's
to tell
why
me.
you take that right.
You don't need to tell
Right.
me.
That is one of the main reasons for that right of war. Rad
Yeah,
grenades.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Moritats, super useful. Yeah.
They are certainly
Even-
more useful than they used to be because they can
Chain
do
fire. I
everything.
mean, you can't chain fire an assault, so you've kind of got to think when you're putting this guy on your list, what I want him to do, because you can't really have him doing a bit of both. Because
It really is the grenades.
the idea, I mean, the dream is that he joins a unit, that unit shoots, he does his chain attack. Next turn, he bumps out, goes to an assaulting unit, and they do that. But that's never going to happen realistically. So
Yeah, I
it's
think I would-
deciding.
I'm wondering whether
I
I
would-
would give him extra pistols.
Yeah, I would
Use him for
just
that.
I would just run him
Keep him
105
super cheap.
points
Yeah,
and just enjoy that -1 to my opponent's strength, opponent's toughness.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, at this point, I am now thinking he's going in assault squads, not building him around destroyer squads. Because that's what I did with him before. He went in my destroyer squads. That was his job. His job was to just basically support, be chain fire for them. Because you don't particularly want those guys charging. The only reason you want them charging is to finish stuff off that's got like 1 or 2.
I ran 2 Moritats with my Blood Angels, both with double melters, because I'm not a pleasant person and I like blowing stuff up. Now I would just take him with stick a jump pack on him, run 2 Moritats, but run him in assault squads all with the Dawnbreakers, and just let
bolt
the,
pistols.
just basic, and just let the Dawnbreakers be extra murdery. Because
yeah.
again, I'm not a nice guy.
I
But
mean,
it makes it's much more versatile.
What's that pseudo destroyer squad that the Blood Angels have?
Or the Angel's Tears.
Yeah, they have
used
rad
to-
grenades.
I don't think they do.
yeah, just to double check, Chris. During a turn in which a unit
Oh,
with
they
at
do,
least
actually.
at least one model with rad grenades successfully charges,
Okay, well, that's right.
or is themselves successfully charged.
Yeah.
All models, and so basically 2 points, I suppose. If you make a successful charge, you can use them. If you make a disorganized charge, you can't. Equally, it's them themselves successfully charged. So that if the unit that's
Is a
charging
successful charge
you, yes, not a disorganized one.
discernible from a disorganized one?
I think a disorganized one
Yeah,
doesn't
less attacks, isn't it?
successfully charges. Yeah, it is, because you get less attacks, and that's why it's always good to do that rather than
But a successful charge would be I get into combat,
No, otherwise, I think
as opposed to it's a failed charge.
I will have a look, because otherwise it would be
I'm
pointless even mentioning it successfully charging, because it's like Yeah.
I'm just
it's
Just being-
successfully charged. Okay,
what is a successful charge and what is
Mr. Pedant, eh?
well,
Okay.
I'm just we are here to raise these questions, and
Okay.
It's an excellent. Look, regardless of what any pedantry, they are an excellent unit. If you can make sure they get into a successful, charge, I think you're off to the races with this guy.
Mr. B, you're going to carry the show for the next 30 seconds while me and Graham both look up.
Both look up.
Look up
I tell
the
you what,
assault phase.
I'll start talking about the next unit, and then you guys can come back in a minute. So I'm going to talk about the Praevian. It's not a support unit. It literally all it does, it doesn't impact the rest of your army. It just gives you access to a Vorax or Castellax, both of which are absolutely flipping excellent and can really add something to your army. So if you're looking for Mechanicum stuff, the Castellax and the Vorax, is the Dark Lance cannon any good still, Graham?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
Yeah.
AP2.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about. Great little units there, very, very cool. But it doesn't really do anything for the rest of your army as a unit. It just lets you you're spending points, in this case 35 more points, for the ability to take other stuff.
Yeah, basically. You wouldn't use him for anything else. But he does get he can be part of the unit though. So you can actually get him to
you can join the unit.
Join the unit.
Yeah. But
I think you are in fact correct, just so we're clear.
Okay.
The last bit of the sword of charge, or any other bonuses granted by special rules that require the unit or model to have successfully charged an enemy unit.
Yes.
Cool. That's all right. Just
well worth a check. It's well worth some semantics were definitely a thing there for sure.
Yeah.
Better off arguing it here than when you're actually at a table with someone.
No, because I can throw things at people.
Well, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So yeah,
I think,
Paddington. Yeah, the Praevian is actually pretty cool. And again, you can join him to to 3 automata. In this case, the Castellax with their Darkfire lances. They are pretty good, and they do get the. Do they get the Legion Astartes rule? Or do they get a special version of it? I cannot remember.
It used to be that they got a special version of it, but I can't.
But now they just get the normal. Do they now get the normal?
I think quickly.
Man looks up thing in book.
Yeah, but as I said, you don't base your army around this.
Including the army due to special rule, gain the same Legion Astartes special rule as the Praevian.
Yeah.
They scrapped all the
other weird business. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if you Ultramarines, for example, they would get the +1 to hit if they were.
Imperial Force are going to get those smaller bolters.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I think the only thing is that I don't think they get the same. They're not quite as good as the ones you can get for the Mechanicum. Because I think there's something weird. But yeah, because you don't obviously get the cyber, whatever it is, cyber 3G that you can do cool stuff with.
They get a Cortex controller.
Yeah, I think that means they can then.
That's just basically controlling the robots.
They can, so they don't go into program behavior, but it also means you can join the unit to them. So you can have your HQ choice surrounded by autonomous. Vorax are also super useful. The only thing is with Vorax is that Vorax have got the outflank rule, which wouldn't transfer to your Praevian.
Nope.
So yeah, just a heads up.
Basically, this guy doesn't, as I said, doesn't do anything for any part of your army other than the automate, the automata you take.
He's probably the only console type that I would give a Nemesis bolter to, for the simple reason being he can then shoot something as well. But yeah,
there's one other I would
hide behind a load of automata.
There's one other I would consider it for.
Well, don't leave us in suspense, man.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, the Mortar Factor, because he's got a similar situation.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Literally, all he does is just deal with the Dreadnought. Doesn't
he just opens up a?
Yeah, he doesn't actually impact the rest of the army in any.
Yeah, I mean, although is it a standard thing? It might be, I suppose. There's also the sort of Dark Praevian version of the Praevian in the new rules now.
I didn't include him, did I? Damn.
Yeah, to enable you to take corrupted things like the Destructor, I want to say.
Yeah, which book's he in?
He's not in a book. He's in the
exemplary. Is it exemplary battles?
It's the oh god, I can't remember. I've got it here.
I'll look it up.
If you want to,
I'll grab the link. Give me 2 seconds.
The crazy gang that is corrupted unit types. You need this particular Praevian to take him. So like the Dark.
Yeah, I forgot he was a consul. For some reason, I thought he was a literal separate unit when I was thinking about this in my head.
Yeah, no, it's a version of the Praevian.
I will find him. You guys keep going.
Okay. Delegatus. So he's basically a mini Praetor, and you kind of take him when you've got a smaller army and you want to take a right of war.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. One job. Delegatus has got one job, and that is
possesses a valuable to go, hey, let's have a right of war. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It possesses a valuable rallying capability, enabling the use of your leadership to rally other units within line of sight. Which is, if somebody's falling back, you can use your leadership at 9 to use to rally in rather than.
He's not a separate unit. He's a Praedian.
Yes.
He just can swap out the option to take the others, the Castellax or the Vorax, instead, and take the the corrupted subtype stuff.
Correct.
So he's not a separate stuff.
No, he's a Praevian with an option.
Praevian with Legionis Cybernetica.
Yeah.
And basically he gets the corrupted subunit type, and he can take a Cyber Furic Arcana, which gives him he's got, instead of a shooting attack, he's got Cyber Thurgist. He can select a unit within 12 inches that's corrupted engine types, and either move them up to their initiative characteristic directly towards the nearest enemy. Improve
Can
their
he do that, or is that just the Cyberthurgic type? He doesn't get that.
Yeah, that's the Cyberthurgic type with the.
He doesn't get that.
No, it's the Praevian with Cyberthurgic, because basically, if you can swap out, he can take Castelexis and Lorax. Instead, he gets the Cyberthurgic and
what's
the
he in, Mr. Reed? Just out of interest.
I will just quickly send you the link on what. Do you want it on WhatsApp or Skype?
What's the thing?
I think it's the burning of Omnimat.
Burning of Omnimat. There we go.
No, it's the depths of Tredisimacia. Depths of Tredisimacia. It's the third along exemplary battle. Yeah.
Okay, let's have it.
So what else
fielded this one, haven't I?
He could. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't think you can take that Cyberthurgic thing. I think that's for the Cyberthurgy power for Legion Cybernetica. I don't think he gets that.
No, the Cyberthurgy power just for the Praevian, if he's got the corrupted stuff.
Okay, it's better than I thought, actually, then, if that is the case.
Right, yeah, so...
megabytes for this file. Jesus Christ. Games Workshop, make your bloody PDFs a bit...
That does mean you can... Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Yeah, so he's also... and he's also got... he can also improve their run save or add one to their weapon skill and initiative. And he also gets a Amifa Excurious, which is a 18-inch, strength 5, AP free, assault free, blind, deflagrate, cyberthurgic focus weapon.
Are you 100% sure about this, Mr. B? Just before an army can include a maximum of one. So all it says is the Legion Praevian and corrupted engines, right? An army can include a maximum of one unit with a corrupted engine unit subtype chosen in this manner. There's no Legion Praevians within the army, and that's all right. Select a cancel aspect or a Vorax battle ultimate via the Legionus Cybernetica rule as normal. All right, okay. So I don't think he gets that. I think that that special Cyberthurgy thing is for things that can take Cyberthurgy, which is Mechanicum, because he's not a Cyberthurgist.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm going to apologize. I've misread the beginning of it. The Cyberthurgic Arcana is available to Mechanicum armies.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Pushing. That's what I got wrong. Okay,
yes.
Come on. I get lots of things wrong, so it's fine.
That's okay. That's all right. So yeah, basically, it means that he can take
the
corrupted engine types in your army. But if you want the full bifter, I would recommend not taking him and allying in some Mechanicum, so they can take the Cyberthurgic type and use these special powers to boost them even further.
Yeah. Okay.
Top tip. So there you will get. So you need 3 Phalanx and a Mechanicum HQ.
This channel is now Graham's Heresy Tips.
That's what the channel has always been.
Because I thought that was because I thought the same thing. Because I had a Praevian. And I thought,
I misread it. I was trying to read it in a rush.
You don't get any of the Cyberthurgy stuff.
I was trying to read it in a rush.
Unless you're Mechanicum. So anyway, my other, so Delegatus, we talked about him. Chris, my other top 3, this one.
Yep. He is super useful when you're in a pink, in a points hole and you want to have a right of war.
Oh no, sorry, I was thinking about the Herald. We're talking about the
okay.
Delegatus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Yes.
No, we haven't spoken about the Delegatus.
Yeah, we did. We did while you were frantically reading.
We've basically said the Delegatus.
We extolled his one virtue, and that is I get a right of war.
Yeah. Ultimately, we need a right of war on the cheap. He's your man.
Yes, the Herald is also definitely on the list of super useful.
Does he get Master of the Legion still, or is that gone now in this edition?
He used to, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And actually, I would like to retract something. The banner doesn't give you fearless, which I thought it did. It's the Herald himself who's fearless. So yeah, a command squad does get line, doesn't get fearless, just to clarify, sorry. But yeah, go, Chris. He is fearless, yeah.
Right, yeah. So Herald has fearless and the fear 1 special rule.
Useful.
He can take his he can exchange his ranged weapon effectively for a standard at no additional points cost,
giving you line. So basically, he's another one that you want to chuck in your, and I'm going to unfortunately say Death Star, because then you've got a fearless set of individuals who are also line. So that really cool elite unit suddenly becomes fearless and scoring,
which is a headache for anyone to
bonus. Give him a Thunderhammer, which is what I've done on mine, for an extra 30 points, and you're still clocking in fairly cheap but super useful.
She's what? Yeah, plus 15 points, so 75 points. Yeah, it's 100 points or so.
And you've suddenly got a fearless scoring unit.
He is absolutely one of the best. One of the best.
Yeah. I mean, fearless cannot be underrated. That's just a seriously super useful skill.
And any units of within 6 inches of the standard leadership characteristic of 10.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Super
him and the chaplain are probably my top 2, I think.
Let's get that.
He's certainly in my top 3.
I've started to use him more than the chaplain because of the fearless.
And the lines.
So what we want the Herald, the Chaplain, the Moritat in a Death Star.
That's a Death Star.
We want a fearless, hatred everything, -1 toughness.
That's your Death Star right there.
That's your Death Star.
Pick your Terminator unit of choice.
Yeah.
Or Elite's unit of choice. Caesarean, for example.
60, 70.
Chosen Warriors. Put them in a Spartan with a Primarch, and you've done it.
Even if you're not adding any weapons to any of those HQ choices, just taking them box fresh,
just for their special abilities,
270 points roughly, and worth every single one of those.
Great investment.
Yeah,
what an investment!
Just find a unit,
make it incredible,
make it incredible.
Yeah, and that, friends, is how you create Death Stars.
That friends is how you lose friends.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just going to be perfectly clear.
That is a Death Star unit right there.
But when in April, when you see Graham at an event and you happen to see 3 HQ choices on the board,
see 2. I haven't gone Moritat because he's not pushing it too far.
He's not gone Moritat yet, but this has been recorded on the 7th of February.
Yeah.
April the 10th is a long way away.
And I must admit, I did have a good long look at the Moritat models on Forge World the other day.
I've got one I can send you, I think so.
Have you? Oh, don't tempt. No. I've got a £5 Games Workshop voucher, so that was what I needed to spend it on. Moritat.
Yeah, Moritat.
It does make him super cool. The next type, and I didn't used to use these, but I have your 10-man last cannon squad. We already talked about how useful the Master Signals is, right? Because he's got a Cognos Signum. But he's 35 points.
Yeah.
An Armistice also comes with a Cognos Signum. So he gives you all those benefits. But you can also give him a heavy weapon. So he does become super useful.
Cheap as well.
Yeah. Now, the only downside to this that I found is I've got two of these guys. And I put one with a 10-man Lascan squad and one with the full Montaris squad because, I wasn't too worried about the heavy. But now that they've been, nerfed into oblivion, he's going to stay in the box because that's the sort of guy I am. But yeah, so the Armistice, Lascannon Armistice, right? With a 10-man Lascannon squad gives you 11 Lascannon squads, which you think is awesome. But the reality is, actually, I spend all my time boosting the ballistic skill of the squad with the Cognos Signum rather than using his Lascannon. So actually, I probably would have, if I was going to do him again, I wouldn't give him a Lascannon. I would just give him a heavy bolter.
I honestly think you waste points if you give him anything other than the heavy bolter.
Yeah, because you are using him to boost the ballistic skill. Unless you've already got. The only advantage to that is if you've got something like Iron Havocs who already got ballistic, or Sun Killers who already ballistic 5.
That's the job. He's got your Augury Scanner. He's
So
sorts
it's
out your
got-
night
yeah.
fighting, and
Well,
he gives you
the
your
commonest signal gives you night vision, so you don't need to worry about that. The only thing he lacks is a nunciator box, which is what the master signals does have.
But he's doing a job that's specifically for heavy support squads, whereas
Mhm.
your master of signals is a little bit more generic.
But yeah, he's not a bad addition, and I think it's actually cheaper in base points than buying a Tech Marine and giving a Tech Marine a commonest signal.
Just take if you could put him with a heavy support squad, just take an armor slots. That's my opinion. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, Coldest Signum's easily worth 15 points. So
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And the boosting leadership as well. So
yeah,
very useful.
okay, because last cannon squads are prime for
Hidden.
yeah.
Okay. Water factor 25-point upgrade allows you to use a single dreadnought talon with a single dreadnought in it as part of your force that's not in the force org chart. So basically, he's the dreadnought's babysitter. Adding another one to your list is cool, but
Dreadnought.
no, seriously. If you're running out of if you want to take a massive dreadnought army and you run out of dreadnought slots,
Have a look in the mirror.
really. Look,
Consider your life choices.
Look, what he does to the dreadnought, he gives it it will not die 5+.
Oof.
He's got his own battle. He gives it battlesmith. He's got servo arms.
Because it
Corpus
battles.
stays all right. Sorry,
He's got Battlesmith to fix dreadnoughts.
yeah, dreadnoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got battlesmith to fix
Just give
dreadnoughts.
the dreadnought battle.
Like,
And
dreadnoughts are
basically-
hard enough.
Yeah, it will not die
But look,
for buses.
Look, here's the problem. Here's the thing. He doesn't do anything other than give that dreadnought. It will not die. And battlesmith. He makes it.
Okay.
It makes a slightly more durable dreadnought. He's not worth the point. Just
Here's
take a
the thing.
dreadnought.
Here's
Dreadnought
what he
is tough
does.
Go on.
Here's what he does that if I filled my elite slots,
Yep.
and I still want to take a dreadnought, I can take a dreadnought that isn't in my force org chart.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
yeah,
Bear in mind, you might fill your elite slot.
So I get an
with stuff that
additional
isn't
elite choice.
dreadnoughts.
it's an expensive dreadnought, so why not just take, I don't know, a Leviathan?
He's got a point there.
Yeah, you might do, but I'm just saying if
I-
I don't
I-
know, if I don't own
no,
a Leviathan,
I get what you're
I
saying.
just-
I just cannot see why anyone would take this unit in their army.
Never seen one used in the world.
But- I've seen it in the previous edition where it made sense, even though the right of war that used it was absolutely ridiculous. This just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't do anything other than give you a more expensive, slightly more durable.
Can he,
That's
can
it.
fix other dreadnoughts? They can't.
Nope, I don't think he can. I think he's just literally hangs out with that dreadnought. If they form a single unit, as I believe it, but maybe.
Yeah, but you can still use Battlesmith on something that isn't in the unit.
But
Back to the rulebook.
I just don't.
it's a battlesmith when you're within.
Yeah,
You,
no,
haven't-
got
you don't join a
base
unit
to-
to repair it,
No, you've got
Yeah.
the base to base with it.
Yeah.
Okay, but
so you can do it to anything.
literally, why I don't see why you're taking.
No,
Because
okay.
because Mr. B.
I'm hearing your argument, but it's still rubbish. Sorry, it's a rubbish argument. There is no argument that I can.
Man.
Yeah, but I
see
can
this guy.
run him because I'm assuming Battlesmith will work on dreadnoughts. I don't know off the top of my head.
I think he gets a special rule that enables him to do it. I
Yeah.
don't think it works generically out of the box, but I could be wrong.
No, because then this Martin Russia doesn't say anything about him getting it. A special version of it. So I'm assuming
Okay.
Battlesmith does it anyway.
Yeah, I thought it could be.
So
Anyway.
I get a guy that opens up a additional dreadnought that I can run with the not in the same unit but next to the other dreadnought, and I can repair them both.
Oh, the
And
battlesmith.
I don't have to. I
The
don't have to
Battlesmith-
worry about taking an
The
additional.
battlesmith, of course, is 6+.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have to take him in the Rights of the Ancients list? I assume so.
Don't know.
Now you can just take him.
Where are the rights of war again? All over the place in this damn book.
Rights of War. Rights of War.
Right of the ancient limitations. No model detachment may select a console choice other than Forge Lord, Primus Medicae, or Mortipactor. So no, you can take Forge Lords and Primus Medicaes.
but they can't join Dread units.
No,
So
they're on their own.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think there's a small niche for him. I don't think it's a massive use for him. There's about 11 other Centurions I would take above him, but it's not my cup of tea to run.
Yeah, he has to. He basically has to be deployed with that dreadnought and can't leave that dreadnought for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm-mm. Okay,
That's not too shabby, I would say.
all right. There's a place for him somewhere. There's a place for us all, of course, in this lovely universe of ours.
Yeah.
What about the Primus Nullificator? Again, a band that we have had.
We've definitely, they were
definitely
a
riffed off that name.
Let me find them because they are in the Legacies PDF, and I.
Oh, are they? Flipping Mr. B jumping about all over the place.
I closed it just moments ago.
Shall I read what he's? I'll read what he's written.
You read what he's written,
while you double check it. So plus 45 points. The Primus Nullificator is only available in Cataphractii armor. So if Quantum Mr. B is more of a thematic choice. It introduces the option to modify your army composition by including nullificators as a support squad troop choice, and removes the cap of a single unit, sharing many rules and equipment with that unit. Essentially, if you aspire to field an army dedicated to demon hunting, this is the way to achieve it.
Yeah.
Okay. Practically, the unit may be limited outside of hunting demons unless you want Cataphractii troops all armed with disintegrators. Doesn't sound terrible.
So he gets the Aetherbane Psychic Discipline, which is an 18-inch range, strength 4 AP3, Sanctic, and Crude Exegious. If both G6 shots the same number, both right.
It's a bit of an odd unit.
Yeah, he's just basically allows you to take more than one squad of nullificators. Why you would possibly take more than one squad of I mean, if you're taking, if you're going demon hunting, then yes. But
maybe a thematic list, perhaps.
Yeah, okay.
But they're all in Cataphractii.
All right.
Nullificators themselves.
Cataphractii.
Cataphractii, Combi Bolter, they've got shock mauls, which are AP3 +1 strength, deflagrate.
That's not terrible.
And any roll to wound for attack made against them with psychic powers suffers a penalty to -1 of the to wound roll. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
They're a nice little unit.
Yeah.
Very themey.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, super situational. How spicy do you want your chili kind of vibe?
Yep. The Warmonger next then?
Warmonger. Not fish, not iron, but
I'm selling you war.
I'm gonna monger you all the war you can take.
Knockdown price.
Yeah.
Cut my own throat, Dibbler.
Cut me
Okay. So for legions that lack robust access to deployment methods like deep strikes, outflanks, and infiltrators, the Warmonger is an immensely appealing option.
Where is the Warmonger's?
He's just below the Primus Nullificator.
He's a
legacy
boy.
Yes, sorry, don't know. Yeah,
no, that's right. Just
already there.
I really shouldn't. I think he should be in the main book, but that's just me.
The utility of this is a single unit deep strike. Basically, he gives deep strike to the unit that he's with, which does, of course, mean that the units that don't have deep strike can suddenly deep strike, which is super useful. But it depends on how welded you are to the idea of deep striking, which, of course, we've debated in some detail given Chris's experiences with it.
So he gives you a worse version of deep strike.
Okay, go.
So a model with the etheric junction splicer and all models in any unit it joins gains the deep strike special rule and must be assigned a deep strike. Additionally, any that includes a model with the etheric junction splicer that enters play using the deep strike special rule must roll a dice for each model in the unit after it's been completely deployed on the battlefield, after pinning and reactions have been made. every single one that you roll is a wound against only which invulnerable saves may be taken.
Right. So a kind of shonky version of Deep
So
Strike.
yeah, it's
That's probably why he's in the Legacies book. But he was popular once, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was, because it wasn't just that he was he was a unit that could give you deep strike. He also had,
Didn't he have a Paragon Blade or something?
Yeah, Master of the Legion. I don't know if he could take a Paragon Blade, but he also had Master of the Legion.
It was a lot better than that.
Yeah, he was like a again, a mini Praetor, but not a Delegatus.
I can't remember what it was, but anyway,
And
it's kind of irrelevant because
the unit that he joins always has to charge.
So not great. I think it's, if you're going to deep strike, you can have an army that's got deep strike, right? Or a right of war that's going to give you deep strike. I mean, I guess, bringing in something like, I don't know.
Where's 105 points? I mean, I appreciate, it gives a unit
I mean, it could be quite useful for a
deep strike,
Terminator squad, I suppose, but
I don't want to take wounds that
and you don't want to, you're going to get shot to
4
death
or
anyway.
5 plus in run.
Yeah.
Well, bear in mind, if you deep strike within 6 inches, that unit the nearby units have to take a pinning test.
They do.
So they may not
be able to react.
Do that, but then you may just incur wounds yourself because you've coded your way into the deep strike.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's deep striking is not what it once was. Although you can charge, it's super risky with the ability for augury scanners and whatnot to just have a pop at you. So yeah, situational at best.
And he can only be in Terminator armor as well.
Oh right, okay, cool.
I don't think he's worth it.
No, I'd agree, unless you're going for a theme.
He's going Terminator armor as well, so he's rocking in at 150 odd points.
Yeah.
See, for me, if I was taking, say, a Sons of Horus list, I might very well consider. I would seriously consider him because he's very themey for them.
You take a Baden, or you take the Right of War that gives you deep strike.
Yeah, well, and make your life.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't want to take either of those, he offers a deep strike, tip of the spear.
I get it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But here's the thing, Mr. B. If I'm thinking I'm going to take a deep strikey army that's got Terminators,
not even a deep strikey. Just
I'm going to take for the same points as this guy. I can get a Terminator Tartarus champion with a Paragon Blade.
Yeah.
For a guy that's not in exchange for a guy that's going to screw me over when I roll 7 ones.
It depends on the army and the theme. I wouldn't take him for anything other than theme.
And also, I think the other thing is, if you take one unit deep striking, you really are asking to be shot off the board.
Yeah, that's
because at least if you take more than one, they're going to have to think about what they shoot first. You have to put one unit down. I found that it was very easy just to go, right, that's got a augury scanner, that's got an augury scanner, and I'm going to use my 2 reactions I got in the movement phase to then shoot you with other things.
Yeah, they really have done a number on deep strike, which is a shame.
For sure. Okay, well, I think that's everything covered.
That is every HQ. I thought there was something in my head that was like, oh, surely the Expeditionary Navigator's still gonna be around there, but no, he's not. He's not the unit at all. I can't find him. So I was like, oh, that's disappointing. I thought,
is he not in the Legacies or anything?
I can't find him anywhere.
The what?
Legacies.
I
can't find him anywhere. Navigator.
I'm sure I've seen him somewhere.
I thought I had, but I can't see him. Is he in Battlescribe? Okay, let me open up Battlescribe. I haven't opened up Battlescribe in like forever.
That's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expeditionary Navigator is definitely still in there, so you might.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. See where the rules reference is.
Gavanite Lodge Priest as well. If you're being particularly saucy.
Yes, because I remember he was in the. Yes, I remember, but I'm just trying to think where I see his unit. Where I see his rules.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. It's just downloading data.
Tune in next week for the Navigator rules, whatever they are now. Let's move on.
We'll do another episode next week. I thought Chris was going to do some more terrible D&D.
Let's. Oh, shocking.
I just see him shaking his head there.
Yeah, shocking. Right. For that, Mr. B, I sent you to close the show.
Someone's decapitated.
Yes.
All right then.
Look, bear in mind, Mr. B, that you put a thing in a WhatsApp group. The other two cheered on about it, and I threw you up against a Kraken. So don't
That is true.
don't start. I will come for you.
Yeah.
Don't start your
You will.
nonsense.
To be fair. Okay. Right. Let's move on to the close. Okay, so it's been a good show. Didn't do a list challenge because things have been a bit all over the place, so we forgot to plan one, but we'll try to do something. So we'd like you to please leave us some reviews on iTunes, follow us on Facebook, Twitter. I'm not calling it X because that's just stupid. Instagram and YouTube. Links will be in the show notes. Give the page a like too, just so we know you like us. And if you want to get in touch with us, you post on our Facebook wall, send a message to that account or Twitter or where, there's various ways of messaging us, or email us at info@edgeofempire.co.uk. If you want to help the show out, we've got various affiliate links. We have one with Audible, which is fantastic, $7.99 a month for an audiobook. All the Black Library books are there, including End and the Death Part 3, which is, as I said, so far so quite good. But I'm just struggling to keep reading because I've been not sleeping well. But that's just me. We've also got Element Game affiliation, crystal codes, which get you twice as many crystals, and I used those the other day, and it's great. And I put it in, and I was like, oh, right, my crystals have gone up so many points. Fantastic. So Chris's is CHR.
You haven't been doing that OnlyFans stuff again, have you?
Sorry?
You haven't been doing that OnlyFans stuff for Element
Crystal isn't somebody on
Crystal
Element
codes. They're like loyalty. They're loyalty points.
No, I just wondered how you managed to get so many. I was wondering whether that was what you were doing.
So many.
Rather than asking for money.
Nobody
20 element crystals to see
what we don't notice when he puts this on YouTube is that between every second or third section or scene or bit, there's a 1 second flash up of support Michael's element crystals.
That's right.
And just puts the code in. So he's subliminally messaging the 20
genuinely
watch us on YouTube.
No one actually uses my code ever. I don't know why, but I use your too. But anyway,
I haven't bought anything from Element for quite some time.
The next time I will do it, I'll make sure that I give it to you, Mr. B.
You don't have to, but seriously, you can give to anyone. But it's like just
no.
Generally,
no, Mr. B. You're getting my crystals.
I
and that's not a sentence I throw around too frequently.
I split mine between yours, Chris's, Rob's, and my mate Chris. Other Chris with a K.
My crystals are going.
My crystals are going in your wallet.
Thank you. No, literally.
Your pouch is going to be full of my crystals.
I've got a little post-it note. It says, "Who are you giving your crystals to next?" So
okay, very organised.
Right, not really. I just probably ordered too much paint. Because for some reason the Games Workshop in Middlesbrough's not got the full range of paint in either of the two local gaming stores.
Issue.
And it's like,
Okay.
Anyway, we also have an affiliate link with the Outpost. They're fantastic over in Sheffield, and of course you can become a patron of the show. We'll pop a thank you up in the credits to you, or you can even buy us a Ko-fi. No one's done that yet, but I don't know if that's any good.
I think because nobody's got the link to how to do it. You've just got someone to buy us a Ko-fi and not told people how to actually do that.
There's a link on the website, I think. Is there? I'm going to have to look, aren't I? Okay. Anyway, in the meantime, have a good couple of weeks. We're going to have an enjoyable time next week playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it's going to get absolutely that's what I mean. We're going to get absolutely murdered.
Don't lump me in with Mr. B's somewhat chaotic and cavalier attitude.
You're very much a
dungeon master.
Awful one for all kind of vibe group. So
we may have been. I'm quite to negotiate that.
It's
chief antagonist over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we will see you in a couple of weeks. What we're doing next time, it's basically the same as we did last time. News, State of the Union, what we've been up to, whatever. We'll get the Paint Shack back up and running. We just got to sort something out for that. But
Yeah, I shall get on with that. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody, and be excellent to each other.
If you want the music quiz back in two shows' time, gotta let us know. You know, I'm really pushing it. I'm not, just
Okay, very good. Right, let's get the hell out of here. Cheers, folks.
All right.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Love and snuggles.